How are we doing tonight, Skywatchers? It's turned out to be a clear night, so we are back hunting the skies for the strange and anomalous. Let me get my chat all up so I can see what you guys are saying. We've already got Trevor in. How are we doing? Good to see you tonight there. Oh, turn my mic down so I'm not hearing myself as well on there. So yeah, guys, we are doing our live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight, coming to live from Wiltshire here in the UK, which is right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stone Henge. So a long history of weird and anomalous, strange and wonderful stuff in the skies. Tonight hopefully won't be any different, and we should see some of those strange objects tonight. It's lovely and clear, that big bright one Vega there. It's 26 light years away from us, that star. How are we doing, Rib? Good to see you too. Trevor, that does sound like a nice roast. It's not too late. This is a reasonable time. There, yeah, we do need some UFOs or angels, etc. tonight. It'd be lovely to see something anomalous, and it's clear. I'm feeling good about it. I feel grotty, but I'm also feeling good that we could get something in there. Early bird Kate, how are you? Yeah, you are. You're Kate the on time for once tonight. How are you doing? Right, let me just get my brightness up here so we can see it. We're waiting for the daylight to fully go. That little blue tinge that we've got there, that is the last bit of daylight coming in from this from the sun there. So hopefully once that goes, we're going to see more stars, more of the colours of those stars, but also more contrast to see all of these objects that we're trying to track tonight. So we're still having trouble. We've got a nice bright one here. Should we zoom in on this one? Yeah, there we go. We need to see objects like this stop dead, shoot off at speed to change their course or trajectory, so we know for sure that they are something a little bit more anomalous than one of the many, many man-made objects flying around up there in the night skies. Adrian is in as well there over in the tubes. How are we all doing tonight, guys? Do say hello. Let us know where you're all watching from. And yeah, ask away any questions that you may have. We want to hear from you all tonight there. No silly questions at all, so just ask away. If you had an experience with the phenomena, I'd like to hear from you there whilst waiting for the action in. So Paul, how are we doing tonight? Good to see you in. So yeah, this is what we're doing. God, I'm feeling grotty. I'm still grotty, guys. We'll push through because we've got an upgrade tonight. Oh, this little gadget. There we go, we've upgraded the pan and tilt motor, so we have much better control of the night sky now, much more of a view to see what is going on there. And Adrian, thank you, Paul, there for coming in, gifting a membership. Very kind of you there, as always. And yeah, that means, Adrian, you'll be able to join us on our next deep dive. So it's going to be this coming Friday. We're going to be finishing off, or not finishing off, but part 2 of looking into the MJ12 document. So we do every couple of weeks, or when the Americans drop the files, we do a deep dive with all you guys as a thank you to our Patreons and members there, looking into the UFO phenomena before or after our normal streams there, so we don't miss out on the actual sky. But yeah, we're looking into the MJ12 stuff there, the things that are related to, well, the group, I should say, that is meant to be responsible for all of the secrecy, the reverse engineering post the 40s. And we're looking into all the real-life documents that could be related to those. Why on earth is my TikTok chat refusing to connect tonight there? Noel as well. Good evening, how are you doing? So we missed you last night there. You didn't find any UAPs about you. No, last night we were doing a signal hunt, sadly. It was too cloudy to get the old camera out. So, again, a lot of you guys have not seen our alien radio signal hunts, and we do them when it's cloudy. But because of the heat wave, we've had such a run of clear skies. But yeah, that's what it looks like. We're listening on the hydrogen line, the channel on the radio dial, where scientists theorise that if ET's out there, that's where they'd put the message. It's where the whale signal is heard. And it's also, this time, we are pointing to the same patch of sky where the whale signal came from there. So it is interesting. But you don't get to see the pretty night skies there. And Loch Lomond is in. How are you tonight there? And yeah, so enjoy those members ones, or enjoy the deep dives when they come up. Right, I'm going to manually go into the TikTok chat, see where we are there. We'll be off and on tonight. I should be working on the book, but I seem to be entangled with book 11. Oh, I get the temptation there. I get the temptation, Kate. I do feel it there, but you're making progress with it, and we're excited to see it as well there. Lee is in. How are you doing there? And White there, what are we looking for? Good question. So we're looking for, let's find an example, objects like this, like this one here. We need to see those objects stop dead, shoot off at speed, change their course or trajectory to tell us for sure if it is anomalous or if it is just one of the many, many man-made objects up there in the night sky. So UFOs, strange objects like that. There you go, another one coming in here. Remember, we need to see that anomalous movement for us to know for sure. Coloration and flashing are of interest, but not definite. Right, I'm getting an error. Hold on, let me see if I can just quickly problem solve this one. Sorry guys, a little bit of troubleshooting. me see if I can make some notes to fix this one. Anyway, so guys, yeah, we're looking out for the strange and anomalous. Adam there coming in with the shares, appreciate that. It is the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all of that sort of jazz there that helps us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds we get on the odd phenomena, said the more we can all piece this puzzle together. Oh, my chat is working now. There we go. My opinion, and Adam coming in there as well, and Lee coming in with the gifts. Appreciate that. It is the gifts, the subs, the patrons, the members, the merch, all that jazz that helps us improve what we do. And in fact, we have actually got an upgrade tonight to show you guys of where it all goes back in there. So we do appreciate all of those guys. And we're down here as well. We should be doing edits, doing the final edits on the book, but hey ho, okay, I feel you there. The way I've kind of tried to trade off with myself is that I go, right, let me just pick one small task out of the ones that I don't want to do, and that's, if I do that, then I can delve into the other stuff, and I make a lot more progress doing that. But it is like fighting. It's like getting a toddler to eat their vegetables there. And where are we? Down here, and Ed's in there. Have you actually ever seen a UFO on a live stream there? And I mean, something that isn't just a dot in the sky. So Ed, brilliant question. So dots in the sky, most of what we're seeing are going to be dots, because light is very hard to get anything out of it at night beyond just a few pixels of brightness. So even if a full-on classic saucer flies upon our screen, depending how close it is, then it will depend on what we actually get to see. Most of the time, it's going to look a lot like these dots, the man-made satellites there. It's going to be up there, flying around in a straight line, reflecting that light back down to us here on Earth. So most of the things we're going to see are quite small. The actual full-on saucer, we haven't seen anything like that, quite clear, quite obvious. Although, when we do our live on locations, we do actually see some a little bit stranger things, a little bit more closer to home. But we do see lots of anomalous stuff moving in strange ways that can't be explained. But it's not been like Close Encounters of the First Kind yet. But that would be lovely, wouldn't it? There as well. And Super Chicken, I love that name, from Chicago. Good to have you in. Chicago is such a romantic place. I love the idea of Chicago. How are you doing? Have you ever seen anything strange in the Chicago skies there? And Loch Lomond, how are you there as well? Why? You have 1,000, do we? We've got 1,000 likes already. Well done, guys. Appreciate that. It is the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all that stuff that really does help us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds we get on the odd phenomena, so the more we can all piece this puzzle together. You never know who's going to come in and what experience with the highly strange they're going to share with us. That is a thing that, more than the sightings, has changed my opinion the most, or my understanding the most, of what might be going on. Hearing how much you guys see, how often, and just all over the world there. It is insane, the activity there. And Stuart going in.
Nom nom nom.
Feeding
guys.
Alan, thank you for that one. A little big one, good spot in there, White. So guys, if you do spot something that the tracker hasn't got, or it's lost and we're not paying attention to, if you call out the grid reference, so like, B2 for example, it will highlight the interactive grid, the square, which draw my eye to it, but also everybody else on the chat. Now there is a bit of a lag where time it gets to your stuff, so try and predict the box you think it's going to be in if it's a moving object there. And a big one there. Oh, and Ed, yeah, I meant something with an actual shape. So I feel you there. I really do. Like, that is something that I would really like to see myself. So we have seen stuff that is clearly anomalous, but yeah, it is just a few pixels of light at this stage, and most of the time it is going to be just that. Now, again, it's technically just as interesting, but me, being human, I want to see that craft shape. And some of you guys have seen it, but we haven't quite seen it yet on the stream, but I'd love to. So this is a bit of view of a hotspot, so we have a chance to. But yeah, to actually see the outline of the craft, the disc, the saucer shape there, maybe even just like a rim of coloured lights, it's like some of the classic examples. That, I think, would be absolutely phenomenal to see there. And Torben, you should also look towards the Big Dipper there, and that is the direction where a lot of activity in Norway is seen. So, Torben, we've got a new toy tonight, so I should actually be able to spin the camera around. I haven't gone that far around yet, and we should see if we'll be able to find it. I'm a bit nervous because I'm not used to it that much, but we can have a go in a minute. We can try maximising it. In theory, I can point it around and show you me in the window, and I can wave back. And I heard a second remote viewer had said that Lunar Operations Command was attacked on the 26th of July there, and added Area 51 is on fire, following the efforts to shut down the Black Ops there. Oh, Mars, I like that one. How are you doing tonight? So, yeah, was it yourself or somebody else that possibly said, it might have been you talking about the first account there, that maybe that's what the object hitting, the booster hitting the moon was a bit of a distraction for? Maybe there's something going on up there. I do think it's a bit conveniently timed, isn't it? I'm not sure about the wildfire, because I think it's quite close, but not actually on the training area, which is quite large. But there was recently a lot of earthquakes detected in and around that area, and one of them in particular had the same signature as underground nuclear detonation, so maybe they are trying to clear up some of the mess there, but get rid of some of the evidence. And we've had non-stop rain and heavy, really heavy, and was out in the wellies in a dry road. Oh, look, that actually sounds like heaven. It's still been bloody hot here today. Would you bloody believe it? There. No rain, not tonight, not tonight. So I'm glad we can get the new toy out. In fact, let me turn my brightness up a little bit so we can make sure we're seeing everything. There we go. We're almost there at full darkness. That big, beautiful one here, this purple one here, is Vega, a star 26 light years from us here. It's about 300 times the size of our sun. Crazy to believe. There, David, coming in with the gifts. Thank you for those. Appreciate that. It all goes back into the stream. And what is the purple star? That is Vega. Good question there, Why? And Astro, how are we doing there? Where are you? So we are in Wiltshire in the UK, which is right in the heart of crop circle country and just down the road from Stone Henge. So, yeah, where you see on the news, most of the crop circles there. So yeah, where are we? And Rib, a dry robe and wellies is a must. I like it. I should see some folks out here in winter. They actually wear survival suits. Can't be that bad. And a huge ship over Area 51 disguised as a cloud. Oh, so, like, was there a clue? Like, was it the shape of the cloud that was giving it away there? Because somebody we had in our chat a while ago, really, really interested, was sending us pictures of, like, square clouds. Like, they looked like clouds texture-wise, but they were quite clearly square, like a proper cube. Really interesting. So normally if somebody had told me about that, I would have gone, you're seeing things, a bit of pareidolia. But actually seeing it, it's weird. It is weird to see there. And Adam, I like no tours. Me too. It's one of the things we've been waiting for ages. So it supports the weight of the camera much better, so we can get a bit more movement, and a lot more range of movement as well. So we can almost do a full 360. Need to make sure the leads are long enough so they don't pull themselves out. But it also supports the moon lens a little bit better. So more consistent, can connect to it, but also we'll better do the moon watches easier there. And Skeptic there, a long rod shape would be quite interesting there, and hard to explain as a satellite. Yeah, exactly. So there are a few things up there. I mean, for us, yeah, the satellites are the hardest thing to explain away, especially at these sort of altitudes. The only way we can do it sort of confidently is by that movement behaviour. You know, the stopping dead, the shooting off at speed, changing its course or trajectory. We have had some interesting ones which are kind of much lower, much lower down. Oh, there's a nice bright one up here.
Zoom mode.
Remember, guys, you can highlight the interactive grid there if you call out the grid coordinates, A2, for example, or whatever it might be. Sometimes there's a bit of a lag. But we have had some things that are clearly, they display like birds do, but they're in perfectly straight, consistent lines and sometimes overtaking each other. It's really weird. So definitely within the atmosphere, they're not reflecting that light back down, but yet still quite mechanical in their path. There have been some recent ones. And down here as well, it's okay. Thank you guys for helping us along with that one there. And Positive Robin, how are we doing that? I'm in Birmingham, England. Is the chance of me seeing shooting stars tonight, please? There's always a chance, but we're out of the shower period. So it's normally when Earth, you know, in its orbit around the sun, goes through these parts of thicker parts of debris, basically. And when it goes through them, you've got a higher chance because there's more stuff flying around. So there's still a chance. We did see some, not last night, the night before, on the wind down, but it's much less there. And Grandmaster there with all this hot flushes. Sounds like he's going through semapause. Very good, Grandmaster. Oh my God, I do feel like it. Just keep getting tireder and tireder. And Stuart there, question for all. Thoughts on crop circles? I have a belief that they are not landing signals, but like territory markers from our visitors. But a bit out there. I know it's not a bad one, and I don't know if there are really any good examples. We're still at the stage, we've got so little information, it's anyone's guess. I mean, I think it might be the interstellar equivalent of when you first pass your driving test and you've got your Nan's Nissan Micra, and then you go to a home-based car park at 2 AM to do donuts. It might be the interstellar equivalent of that. But no, like the crop circle stuff, I've always been interested in, but definitely because it's easy for the human component to that, it's been hard to find ones that you go, this is really got my number. But the more I read about the local folklore histories, the more I'm coming across crop circles in ancient times, in medieval times. So I thought maybe once or twice, but no, it's quite a common phenomenon back then too. Your poor chihuahua didn't want to go out there. Oh, little thing. There, R.A., how are we doing there? And Matty is in. Good to see you. Guys, if you're new here, especially, or if you just joined us in the stream, do say hello. Let us know where you're watching from tonight. Ask away any questions. We're only 3 minutes behind in the chat, so it won't take long to get you there. But yeah, we're doing a live UFO at UAP Skywatch tonight there. Coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, which is right in the heart of crop circle country and just down the road from Stone Henge. So not surprised, it's overwhelming for a wee pup. Oh yeah, the smaller ones as well. And I wish I was in the UK. It's always clear there. In Ireland, it's completely cloudy. Astro, honestly, it ain't that clear most of the time. It's because we've got this bloody heat wave. We've had like a solid run of clear nights. But over the winter, we had 50 odd days, 53, 54 nights in a row of just solid cloud coverage. So this was probably the worst thing to do from being based in the UK with the amount of clouds that we bloody get. But yeah, we have been very, very fortunate. On the flip side though, Astro, if you are into the UFO side of things, Ireland is really, really, really active for the phenomena. Have you ever seen anything strange in the skies? Would love to hear about that one. Raf is in. Oh, you're getting lag your end. Meter here says it's okay, but we'll have to see how it goes. And what is the darker red one? It's to us. So, right, this one there, that one there, and that one there, they are dead pixels on the camera. It doesn't really like the temperature. This one's a nice red one, though. Not as quite as red. But, yeah, not sure on those ones there. Where are we down there? Grim, how are we doing? Thank you for the gifts. Appreciate those. All goes back into the stream. And Eb there, for me, crop circles have always been artists there, and it's a bit like graffiti artists. They want to make their mark, but don't want to be caught. I definitely think a good portion of it could definitely be that. I feel with like the crop circles is kind of the same as with the pyramids. Like, I don't need aliens to explain it. You know, we know that, you know, man can chisel and stack stone, right? We don't need aliens to explain that. But also the amount of stone, the scale, and all that sort of stuff. I don't think the mainstream explanation of you know, the dynastic Egyptians building them, I don't think there's actually a lot of evidence for that one at all. So it's kind of, don't need the aliens, but I do need a different example. Similar with the crop circles, like I'm definitely open for there to being a bit more of a paranormal link to it, especially when they're really big and there are the fractal patterns. But I think there's definitely a lot of activity from humans around that. But also, it's always interested me is, where are the shit ones? Where are the half-done ones? Where's the crop circle intern? Where are the ones where they've been disturbed halfway through? You never see those, do you? So it's just a question of how much, maybe, of the human stuff going on. It's a nice big one not being tracked up here. Oh, it's saying everyone's getting tracked now. See the difference in sizes that we get and speeds. Again, until they stop dead, guys, shoot off at speed, change course or trajectory, we don't know that they are anything more anomalous. Dodo, how are we doing? Thank you for the gifts there. And we'll just get through to the chat. And crop circles were debunked as a natural phenomenon occurring as a result of the green giant's flatulence as he roams the crop fields. Well, I'm glad to know somebody has eventually figured it out. Where are we doing there? And Logic Lurker, how are you tonight there? Guys, if you're joining us, do say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're on the TikToks, remember, over on the tubes, you get a slightly different experience. It looks like this. It's more of the night sky, less of my face. All sorts of other contextual analysis there at the Thing UFO. Worth hanging around there for too. Have that on the big screen and then the chat on your phone. Good spot in there, White. And Rio, how are you doing tonight? We're all good. I'm still sickly and I'm going to complain about it there. FBL there. I once had a crop circle in your Weetabix. I wonder what that looked like, actually. That's like the tea leaves. Grim is in there. And Yasmin, how are we doing there? I'm on the Wiltshire-Oxfordshire border. Oh, you're a bit north, but very, very close by. Have you lived there for like all your life? Have you ever experienced anything strange? Because it's good to have you in. Because I'm very new here, year and a bit, and we've seen some strange things. But locally, there is lots of weirdness in the area. So if you've been here a while, I'd love to hear if you've ever experienced anything there. Guys, make sure you're following, subscribed, whatever it is, wherever you are, because we're on pretty much every night. So clear nights, as we're getting a lot over the heat wave, it's the UFO UAP Skywatch there. Cloudy nights, it's an alien radio signal hunt there, where we search the hydrogen line like the film Contact. We're listening out, hoping to hear ET say hello. Where scientists think we are most likely to hear a message from ET, should they be out there where the wow signal was heard. And if the moon's up and now we've got a new bit of kit, we should be able to do it much easier. We look on the moon for strange and anomalous stuff. So every night we're here hanging out, getting the evidence. As I keep losing Sam's voice, but it's getting better. I'm losing my voice. They're just popping in to say hi. Hopefully we'll be back soon. Oh, Dawdle, all good, and good to see you there. We're all good as well, Ria. We're all good. I'm milking having a slight cold, but we're actually all good there. Grim as well coming in with the gifts there and the shares. Oh, you should name your dead pixels, and if anyone asks what they are, just name them as if they are known stars or something like that. It's a funny story between the red as much as the beetroot. You know what, Logic, that's not a bad idea. I think we did call the middle one Jessica for a while, and I kept forgetting the name of it there. Maybe we'll add a planetary designation to it there. And Ed there, I'm actually sub there, seems a logical host. Hey, not necessarily. I do have my times. And the chat's not too conspiracy theory, and I can't handle too much craziness there. Most things are explainable. I think you're right there. Most things are explainable. I mean, this is a place for everybody to share their ideas. So as long as everybody's respectful, we talk about like a buffet, where everybody brings a dish, but we don't make the vegans eat the sausage rolls. So everyone's been to share and to, put out different points of view. I think that's the best way to do it. We don't want to be getting excited about things that we're seeing if there is a logical explanation. I'm human, and sometimes you go, oh my God, that's amazing. And then there is a reasonable answer, and you do get a bit disappointed. But ultimately, we're here for the evidence. So we do need to have, we have a balance of people. So you're very, very welcome in there, Ed, very well. And again, we do share everybody's thoughts and opinions. So some of them might be a bit more out there, but it's all good, healthy mix of things. I often find, actually, that the big difference between, and look, there's always on both ends of the spectrum people that are kind of at the extreme end, but I think for the most of us, the difference between a lot of the skeptical people and the more open people is just that we're, like the more open-minded towards this stuff, is that we're just willing to spend the time looking out for the possibility. Not that there necessarily is, but we tend to agree on the specifics, but it's just more that we're still interested enough to spend the time, whereas other people kind of go, well, there's not enough evidence for me to warrant it. And that's, both of them is a fair enough opinion. But actually, I think we do tend to agree on quite a lot of the middle ground there. And Matty B4, good spot in there. And Put, how are we doing there? What are we doing? We're looking out for UFOs, UAP, all of that strange stuff in the night sky there. Hannah there, coming in, feeding Alan. Thanks, and Ian, guys. Welcome aboard to the Members Club. I appreciate that. It's very, very kind of you there, Ian. Where are you? Ian the Debonair. Actually, you've been in before, haven't you, Ian? Recognise the name there. But you're able to join us on our deep dives. We do them every couple of weeks, or when the Americans release more files and more data, more drops are there. And we do as a little thank you to our members and Patreons, etc. And we read through them all with you guys in real time to see what you guys think of it all. It's like doing our UFO homework, going through all of the release documents there that were previously classified, all of the reports, and it's really interesting to kind of see the similarities to now and then. I find it very, very interesting. So I appreciate that one there, Ian. Very kind of you. And if you are going to leave a message for people in the future, what medium would you use? Oh, good question, Lurker. Probably radioactivity. It's the thing that's going to last the longest. I'm not sure how you'd encode a message into that, but specifically on Earth, that is going to be one of the most sort of longest lasting sort of things there. It's always good to limit ourselves there. I think in certain cases, we need to know in the right ways of doing it. Creativity is great. It's how you come to new conclusions, but you can't do it 24/7 as you never get anything done. That's a hard lesson I had to learn myself, being more creative. It was very hard to actually push anything over the line, get anything done. Lots of great new ideas, but I couldn't make a career or anything out of those sort of things. So it took a lot of learning, a lot of painful lessons, a lot of expensive lessons to there. But it's kind of this, for me, is the creative expression. This is when I put my resources into kind of being curious and open-minded. Can we just see what the theories are that are out there? And and I have to do my day job a little bit more. But it's finding the balance there. And in fact, I think it's more important than ever that we find the balance both ways, because people out there are also the other way inclined. They are much more no time for the curiosity, and then they miss things. And in the world that we're living in, you probably need to be spending probably about 20% of your time, energy and resources on something new. So that, because our environments aren't as static as they once was, everything is changing. Now, think of this in the world of work. You used to be able to get a job for life, if you were lucky. But think of it, the businesses don't last that long. So it's so transient now with technology. Whole industries and skill sets just don't last. So you want to be doing the thing 80% of the time that earns the wages, is nice and steady. But because that's not guaranteed, you need to be spending 20% of your time looking at new things, learning it, so there may be something else on the horizon. Because when it all gets mixed up and shuffled up, you need to have something else to go to. It's not, there is no playing it safe really anymore. A-Up is in the house. The sky looks gorgeous. It does. And we said we've got a new toy tonight. We're going to spin this round in a second. Good spot in the grid, guys. Ant is in too. And if you were Jesus too, or would you tell anyone? Jesus pointed, not after the last time. But then again, that was the whole point, wasn't it? Is, had to do it there. It should name the red pixels after our Red Dwarf characters. Good shout, Vicky, actually. That is a very, very good shout. I need to remember it, though. I might have a chance of that there. We're all good, A-Up. We're all good. I'm slightly losing my voice there. Leanne coming in with the gifts too. Appreciate that, guys. It all goes back into the stream, helping us improve what we do. So we're currently saving up at the minute, and we're so close to get our show on the road more often. We've got an on-location rig, so we could take you up to some UFO hotspots. We're going to do UK UFO hotspot tour, kicking off of Rendlesham Forest. We're almost there. We're saving up now for Starlink, and we're almost close because you guys are amazing there. So once that's done, yeah, we're going to be able to do that with you guys. So we do appreciate all the support there. That's where it all goes. No Down the Pub for me. How you doing, Joseph, as well? We can name one Vicky a Torben. We could, maybe we'll do a little bit of a lottery. One day when the tracking software gets good enough that it can recognise the stars in shot, then we can bring up their details and their names. Maybe we could do like little sponsored names for them there. And Joseph, Curly, Larry and Mo. There we go. That's the Simpsons one. Oh, and it's disappeared. So sometimes it can just be to do with the brightness if it's more noticeable. If I turn up the brightness, it might be a bit more obvious there as well. Where are you, Buffy? We had a dead pixel in a computer screen once, and we tried to return it to Curry's, and they said they wouldn't take it back at their term state out to 5 dead pixels. I've heard that, and what a bloody piss take, isn't it? There, it kind of reminds me of there's a certain amount of insects that are allowed to be made into food and sweets. It's like there's an acceptable level of that. I'm like, there's no amount of spider's legs in my chocolate bar that is acceptable. Background is green like Starbug. Actually, yes, I did love Red Dwarf as a kid there. Oi is in. How are we doing there? And Ed, as an astronomer of 38 years, I've seen just one unexplainable thing there, and a weird V really high up, and it was all lit up really high up though. Well, that is really interesting. Again, we can't say with that information that is ET flying from A to B, but it is really interesting, isn't it? There. I mean, and in your 38 years, you've never seen that. I mean, it was flying. So was it in movement? Really high up, you probably couldn't get. It's so hard, isn't it? The data that we're getting, it's hard to tell things like altitude. We need like a second point. But that is really interesting there. Was there any coloration to it? Was there any lights? That is a fantastic one, Ed. Appreciate you sharing that one. Larry in from Houston, Texas. I do love a bit of Texas. The older I get, the more I appreciate some of the states that you have over there, guys. If you are just joining us, it's Skywatch time. We're looking out for UFOs, UAP, all that jazz in the night sky here, live from Wiltshire in the UK, which is right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stone Henge. It's a long history of the weird and wonderful in these night skies. In fact, this little town had its own UFO flap in the 60s and 70s, and it's still going on to this day to some degree. It is absolutely incredible, some of the things that went on during that period. And it's the only account that I know of that lasted 15 years of solid encounters where multiple people in the town would see the same thing from different vantage points consistently. It is weird. There is something strange going on here. Short folk in there just listening tonight, and no worries, that is all cool. Have a chill night there. Put on some coffee, not some coffee this time, hot chocolate. Astrid as well, how are you there? And what's the day job out of Nosiness Logic? I manage a podcast network basically. It's lots of spreadsheets, it's not as exciting as it sounds. So I'm not normally at this side of the mic. And mate, we have seen some cool stuff in the sky tonight there. Axel, what sort of things have you seen? Whereabouts in the world for those? And A up there, what we use to communicate is out of date by the end of our life. Needs to be different. It needs to be a different way there. And not sure what that this is. It's the rate of change at the minute. I think that is what is most dangerous for us, is because it takes a while for our culture to understand the rules around things. Just look at social media for kids. It's like, okay, we know there are benefits to social media, increased communication, spreading of ideas, all this sort of stuff, blah blah blah, but the negatives are obvious as well, and we've kind of ignored it for a long time, and we've now got to figure out how do we do it. And some people think it's banning it for certain people's ages, some people think it's banning it outright. We haven't figured out, we haven't tussled of what the solution for that be. We take a long time in our culture to decide how to handle things, and the speed of technology, it's getting newer and newer and newer before we figured out the last one, but also in ourselves. We need to adjust, and we don't need to evolve over a million years in the same way. Obviously we still do sort of physiologically, but we do a lot of that in real time with our psychology and how our brains work. But again, we need time to do that, need time to adjust, and that's the thing where a lot of the danger is with the rate and the speed, the pace of modern technology there. The sky is amazing. You're right, Rio, we're getting all the colour in. Look at Vega tonight there. Big beautiful Vega, 26 light years from us here on Earth. Absolutely stunning. In a second, I'm going to start spinning the camera around. It's a new toy, so I want to make sure we play with those ones. Leanne coming in with the shares, appreciate that. It is, guys, the likes, the shares, the tap it away, all of that stuff there that helps us reach more and more like-minded people there. And the more open-minded, intelligent people we can get to look at the old phenomena, come in and share their experiences, and the more we can all understand a little bit more about our universe. And Stargazing FBR by Clark Knight is a good book. I'll have to add it to the list there. And Ed there, Face to Face, has worked for 50,000 years, I suppose. Well, this is we have evolved in a lot of our ways to deal with face to face. That is one of the issues that we've had in this modern world, is that we're still programmed for that. When we're seeing all of the nastiness out there in the wider world, our brain kind of deals with it in a sense that this is happening in your village, and that's not quite the same, and that's why we're having a lot of those problems. If you think of it as like a classic radar screen, in fact I can bring up my radar, I don't think it's working properly. Think about the old radar scope here. Those circles define the distance away from you, and you have to do it manually nowadays because the subconscious your brain will take it as everything is local. You have to go, right, is this in my inner radar, is this on my doorstep, or is this in the news from further away? And it can sometimes help with it all there. And Ian there didn't know the stuff ran out there. So how's the tooth? Ian there, hey, don't worry about running out. That's all cool. It's never required, and we just appreciate it all of the time. Whenever there. So we do appreciate that, Ian. For that one, but never any obligation. Just hanging out with us is cool enough. Actually the tooth, thank you, is stable for now. I'm sure I'm going to have to deal with it at some point, but I've come down with a cold, so I'm a bit bunged up and a little bit slower than normal. So we'll see how we get on tonight, but I'm always complaining about something there. How are you doing though, Ian? And hey, up there, very true, the NHS used to be a job for life there. Not now. I'm on my 5th restructure and possible redundancy, and constantly learn new things. This is that you're actually, I think, up very well with your temperament and how you work. Very well adjusted for this sort of thing. It doesn't mean it's not going to be hard, and you wouldn't want to do it, but you've got the mind that can handle it. Lots of people that are out there, they're not built like that. They're not curious. They don't know how to teach themselves things like this. I know some people like this that will literally just sit there because they don't know how to self-govern. They don't know how to find new possibilities and stuff like that. But in this day and age, yeah, you don't have the jobs for life because you don't have the companies for life. You don't have the companies for life because we don't have the technology for life. It's all changing so fast. I'm sure we'll figure it out. We've figured everything else out as a species, haven't we there? And Logic there, who has developed the software there? Love to help if it's in-house. Logic, it is in-house. It is what we're doing. I'm doing it all myself very badly, Logic there. So yeah, I would love some assistance there. I'm hoping, I need to wait for the weather to cool down because we can see obviously the tracking, it keeps losing tracks and stuff, and I'm suspicious that it's actually more of like this one won't last for the whole jet. There we go, it's lost it. I think a lot of it is actually hardware issues at the second with the heat. I'm noticing a correlation between that, so I need it to cool down and then we can confirm, does it perform better, and therefore, right, it's hardware and I need to figure that one out. But yeah, we've got some ambitious plans, so definitely any assistance there. And Angela, how are you doing there? What is the purple star? That is Vega, big, bright, beautiful Vega, 26 light years from us here on Earth, about 300 times the size of our sun, burning much hotter and much brighter. It won't last as long. So as a guide of reference, the moon, the Earth is 400 times larger. No, sorry. No, turn around away. Forget that. Right, the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, right? And Vega, or our sun, is 300 times smaller than Vega. So it's kind of a very similar. If you think about our sun and our moon, to the size of our star, the sun, and Vega, are there. Totally made that as long-winded and as pointless as possible there. And Ed there, it was flying in a slow circle, but the V was too straight and clean to be a bird. So I just couldn't figure out. We get lots of those, and it's in this middle ground of I don't know. And we have to, I think, get more comfortable of leaving things in this middle ground of we don't have the data. That's frustrating. It's interesting, but we don't have the data there, because I know exactly what you mean. We've seen some similar things that can present visually like how birds and bats do on the camera, but their movement profile is much more mechanistic, much more closer to an orbit or an aircraft, but no aircraft, no strobes, and we see aircraft do look very different when they come over the camera. But again, without any more data, we can't say. We can just say it's interesting there. And Marco there, can you fill me in there? And just join Marco, welcome aboard. Where are you joining us from in the world? Guys, if you are new here, do say hello. Let us know where you're all watching from. We want to hear from you all. Ask away any questions. There's no silly questions at all. But Marco, we are doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight there. And this is all live from my garden here in Wiltshire, here in the UK, which is right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stone Henge. We're looking for objects like this. It's trying to track that one. Mode activated. So it's got identified the movement there, and it's like a little dot in the middle. There, I guess lost it. But yeah, we need to see objects like this stop dead, shoot off at speed, change their course or trajectory, and that will tell us for sure if it is anomalous. If it doesn't do that, then it is not giving us enough information to say that it's anomalous. It's most likely going to be a man-made satellite. There's a hell of a lot of them up there, so statistically, oh, look how bright that one was up the top there. Statistically, it's most likely to be a man-made satellite. Now, what we do have to remember is that, again, it doesn't... Oh, we've got a flasher. Zoom mode activated. There we go. Look at this nice rhythmic flasher. Very interesting, but... not necessarily anomalous. Cool to look at. So the explanation there, whatever that object is see how this gets the light like that. So it's flash, no flash, flash, no flash, because there's not much to reflect. So that is doing that as it is flying. Now, again, man-made satellites can do just that. It does tend to be in the modern ones towards the end of their life, though, because a lot of the newer generation satellites, they're not designed to just rotate all the time. If they're a communications satellite, that antenna needs to be pointed down to the ground, so it can maintain the connection. If it's like Hubble here, that camera needs to be pointing up to the night sky. So if they're tumbling, they're not doing their job, so normally at the end of their life. But very, very interesting there. So again, though, even if these objects, they just do straight and consistent and doesn't give us any information that it's anomalous, doesn't mean that it isn't at all. It just means it's not giving us information. So statistically, most likely a satellite. But these objects, these lights moving in the sky at these altitudes, have been seen for a very, very, very long time. Before man had satellites up there, obviously to a much lesser degree, and still statistically, any one of these is probably most likely going to be a man-made satellite. But there were objects up there in orbit of the Earth before man-made satellites reflecting light back down to us there. And can anyone explain why satellites go light to dim? So brilliant one there. The reason that we can see these is that essentially they're off the surface of the Earth. So they still have a direct line of sight to the sun, and therefore they're reflecting, they're bouncing that light back down to us here on Earth. So when the sun goes further around, they can't get that direction, or maybe it's when they're moving, they kind of go and they don't get that line of sight back. So you remember, you've got the Earth shadow. As it gets dark, that shadow goes across the Earth, and so they can kind of disappear into that. But all the seasonality, atmospherics can affect it all. How you doing, Lucy? Good to see you there. Listening while you finish your crystal curtain. Barrett's in tonight. How are you doing? And they spin, so they can do, yeah, they definitely can. And the monk that guards the Ark of the Covenant in Lalibela, Ethiopia, said prior to his death that the Jesus that returns on the second coming will be a false prophet. Did he really? That is interesting. But yeah, interesting, this place in Nigeria that claims to have the Ark of the Covenant, and all of the guardians that guard it, nobody decided to see it other than them. They all die very quickly, don't they, of what appears to be radiation poisoning. Just straight disappeared. So there's that. So yeah, that is interesting, Ed. That is a really interesting account. Thank you for sharing that. I do appreciate that. Adam coming in with the gifts. Appreciate all of those. I think we've got some aircraft in the area. I can hear something. Oh yeah, we got some military stuff going right over. I wonder what direction that is. Should we see if we can spot it, guys? Let's move the... See if we can use this... Let's have a look. See if we can spot where we got around here. It feels like sounds like it's directly overhead. Sorry, I've got little sniffles tonight. Where is it? Oh, that's a nice blue one coming in up there. Which way has that gone? Interesting. So, right, well, we didn't catch the helicopters flying over there. Rich is in there. Can we call a D1 Dead Pixel Remesis Nimblick the third? Oh my god, I'm going to remember that one. The claims. I can barely remember the other names out. Let's go down with this one. Let's see if we can follow this blue one coming in. Oh, look, it's just going past Andromeda. That there, guys, looks like a smudge star. That
zoom mode activated.
That is a whole other galaxy there, absolutely full of billions and billions of stars. Always cool to see. A nice blue one there. Again, the blue colour is probably the modern Starlink ones, but it's still cool to see some of the colour variations that I get. Rodney's in as well, and Tatooine. Yeah, there we go. If we name it after those ones, right, that's a good idea. And Jack, the moving lights that are on the screen is tracking there. Is this shooting stars or satellites? So most of them are going to be man-made satellites. Oh, wrong way. Oh my god, that's a bright light. Sorry, guys. Still getting used to the remote here. Spin it around. There we go. Let's get Vega back into shot. Let's get up a little bit higher. Oh, shite. There we go. Anyway, So yeah, we can control that now. Isn't that cool? Yeah, most of these are going to be man-made satellites, and we are looking for the ones, while we're trying to track them, we're looking for the ones that stop dead, sure for speed, change course or trajectory, because that tells us for sure that it is not a man-made satellite. It's not an organic object. We don't know what it is, but it's the U in UFO. And I was only thinking at the weekend that my brain just doesn't stop planning and hustling. You'd get bored if you didn't, but it does take its toll. It does take a little bit, of energy. I say a little bit, quite a lot normally there. And one of the pixels there should call a red dwarf. I like the red dwarf character suggestions. Can't you mount some kind of fan or cooler to the camera there to keep the temperature down around there? So I'm looking into options for that. Ironically though, it's been the other way around. We've needed to keep it warm to stop condensation before, so it's a bit of a bit with that one. We will tackle it though at some point there. And can we call one of the red pixels Bill, in honour of Mr. Star Trek himself? I'm up for naming all of the stars in shot, but it's just bloody remembering to do it though, isn't it? I'm remembering what we've called them all. Rio, I think Kate's in somewhere, and am I the only one excited for the new toy to be used? I'm very excited. It's very cool. I will try at some point, guys. I'll spin it around and see if we can see into my room. I just don't know how bright it's going to be, and I'll wave to you. But I think it'd be too bright. The camera's set to very low light. It'd just look like I'm Jesus. There, Philip, evening from Wales. How are your skies in Wales tonight, Philip? And 2 Apache attack helicopters southeast of you at the moment. That was what we heard going over there. Yeah, I was pointing in the wrong bloody direction for that. I guess some of the flashes you see also come from sunlight hitting satellites from different angles. So yeah, we tend to see some interesting ones where one of the most common is like the flare up, I call it. So it kind of gets bright very quick and then dims. And what's happening is, imagine this is in orbit. See like how it gets bright and then dims again. So like bright, it's all about our position relative to it and the star. So we get those ones. You get the repeated flashing ones. We do get, and we haven't had it for a while, but one of the most anomalous things we've seen is the stationary flashing. So something appearing to be in exactly the same place over the whole stream, sometimes for multiple nights, every 17 seconds, every 2 minutes, whatever it is, just flashing back to us from pretty much the exact same spot. Now everything up there should be moving, should be in motion, other than the geostationary satellites, which we've checked we're not in those parts of the sky when we've been having those experiences. So it's really anomalous, and we've had people that work with satellites in here saying no, there is nothing in that part of the sky that you should be seeing back. And remember as well that this is a low light lens, so we get to see a lot more than you do with the eye, but we still can't see like a telescope things out there in deep space. So it's still close by. It's interesting. Was that a shooting star? Oh, I totally missed that one. No, probably not there. Space worm, probably. Look, Shatner Online says he's 95. Oh, my God. He's getting on a bit. And code for bird or black. That's exactly it, Rib. Yeah. So, yeah, space worms, because they look like brown worms going over the screen there. Banana, how are you doing? Good to see you in. How are you doing, OG Banana? There. And Aru as well, coming in with the shares. Appreciate those guys. Bad Cat as well with the follows. Where are you joining us from? Guys, if you're new here, do say hello. Let us know where you're watching from tonight there. And ask away any questions. No silly questions at all, so just ask away. If you're curious, somebody else will be, and they'll be grateful you've asked. All good, Banana. Got a cold. I'm not going to milk that, but other than that, we're good there. And the one you zoomed in on was a big boy. We've had some big ones. It's the range of sizes, speeds, colours I find absolutely fascinating. Those, again, doesn't give us enough information to say if it is anomalous or not, but it is incredibly interesting there. I'd love to help. Oh, Logic, I appreciate that there. I'm monitoring. I'm monitoring engineer and dev there. I mean, the Discord under the same name there. Feel free to mention Lurker. When I get my hat back on for it, I will appreciate it. Again, my ignorance, I fumble through things, so I'm incredibly frustrated like that because I won't know half of the things. But yeah, some ideas would be good around certain parts of it. And Kate, I love how we all call them space worms now there, because the one night I was being a tip. It's amazing how these things get written in, but it's quite appropriate. I like the space worms. If a spider crawls onto your camera lens, will it be traumatized? We will be. I'll be traumatized. Yeah, I'd be as well. Hopefully, it'll be too blurry to tell. Jesus, that cough. Post a picture where we're finished. Yes. God, it's hot. It's still bloody hot down here, guys. Yeah, I need to update now. To the pictures to show you the camera setup now. It's a bit better there. And Lurker, I've called my alien friends I met on Facebook there. Let's see if they turn up. We'll welcome in Lurker's friends if you guys do come on in. Good to see you in. Appreciate that one, Lurker. And they look beautiful when the sun hits the crystal there. It's in sparkling lights. So that's actually a good idea. I need to see what this is like. Of the images I've got of these curtains, Lucy, I need to actually see it. Oh, there's a gunship above. Yeah, hey, up here. So that's the thing. That's why we don't use the lasers for the communication of all of this. But okay, so guys, what we're doing at the minute is this is a passive skywatch, right? We're looking at hoping ET is flying from A to B, and we're in a hotspot for the old UFOs. So fingers crossed we'll see them flying by and do something anomalous and we can observe it. But maybe we could be a bit more active. Maybe we could summon them in. There's lots of reports of certain meditative and consciousness practice called C5 and around that sort of thing that apparently have very good results in actually kind of bringing in these anomalies to see, and they kind of dance around. I'm not so up on that. We've got some people in our community that are exploring that as an idea, which we're very excited for. But also there is something a little bit more mechanical, which is more in my wheelhouse, a way that apparently is very successful. And so you've heard of a dog whistle in real life there. It's ultrasonic frequencies, tones, sounds, basically, that only dogs can hear. Now, for the UFO phenomena, apparently, again, there is a similar sort of selection of tones and frequencies that, again, we can't hear, but they have a real apparent cause and effect in summoning the phenomena in. So we want to start testing that to see if that one works. Now, being ultrasonic, we won't be able to hear it when it's doing it. So to show you guys what we mean, now I haven't got it set up yet because I still need another piece of kit, but turn it on, you should see on the old TikTok, you should see a line across here, and on the YouTube you see the line down there. And what happens is we'll show you the waveform of those ultrasonic sounds being played. Now we have got a test tone that we can hear, so if I play it now you should see the waveforms come up. I don't know why it's not coming up on TikTok yet, but you should see the waveform appear and you hear the sound. Oh no, it's having a bit of a delay. There we go, sorry, it's a bit laggy tonight. Anyway, let's try it again, maybe. There you go, a little bit of a lag, but anyway, you get the principle there. So that tells us that it's playing its tunes and its tones. So hopefully, basically, I just need an old mobile phone that's got a sort of suitable output to do the right frequency range there, and then we can start to include that one in on the screen. He's still lagging over there. There we go. So yeah, hopefully we'll start to summon them in. Now we won't hear it. That was just our test tone. That's why the waveform will come up when we're using it. And I'd like one of those telescopes for lurking there. Oh, Lurker likes to lurk. Oh, we do want to get a decent telescope. The old, that's on our list, far away up the list at the minute. But yeah, the smart scopes look to be really interesting. So wouldn't it be cool, guys? We're doing this, the wide field, looking out for the UFOs, tracking all these objects. But if we go, wait a minute, look, we're talking about Vega. Let's zoom in on Vega. And we go, oh, look, Vega, 26 light years away, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't it be good if we had to do a telescope and get a bit of a closer look? That would be really awesome. So that's on the list at some point there. Rue, they're coming in with all the gifts. Appreciate that. Robert, too. And Robert coming in with the shares. Thank you, guys. All goes back into the stream. Where are we down here? Philip there, the ISS. So, the ISS, when it goes over, it always catches me out. It is the biggest, brightest object. It is insanely crazy to see come across the screen. It's so cool. Yeah, always stunning. But it's not due over from our point of view at the minute, so we haven't got it, I don't think, until next month. We saw it last month a couple of times, and it's just always phenomenal there. And the tracking a tripod is banging. Oh, Rib, thank you. It's better than I thought it was. I thought it'd be a bit plasticky, but actually it's so good. It's so good. So we're gonna find lots of excuses to spin this camera around because it works. The other one was always, you see me swearing at it. The connection would always drop out and stuff like that one. Space Ghost, coast to coast. Thank you for feeding Alan. Appreciate that one. Stargazer and Tammy, welcome aboard. Where are you guys joining us from tonight? I'm only 8 minutes behind the chat, so do say hello. I'll get your messages shortly there. Love it, and banana. And I had a crystal ball that nearly set my sofa on fire. The sunlight, and you know what? Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that. I know Sony is known to have an overheat issue there, just like the new lower price range mirrorless Canon. I didn't know the new Canon ones, but yeah, this Sony is kind of notorious for it there. So at some point we will upgrade the camera, but it's a lot of money. So it's going to be a very, very long time away for us to do that one. But it's good enough for now. It's good enough for now. The next step for us is, finishing off the on location and then getting to actually do the on location live Skywatches. And we want to do a tour. We've got about 13, 14 locations on our tour list at the moment. We want to kick things off with Rendlesham Forest, the site of the supposed crash/landing in the 1980s just outside the US Air Base there. Very interesting location. But yeah, imagine all of these Skywatches live from all of these hotspots. We do it currently at the minute from some local, more convenient ones around this town. There's all these these old Iron Age hill forts that, you know, stick out wonderfully, big flat tops, great view. But that's where the old Skywatchers used to go back in the day in the 60s and 70s and have all the experiences. We take you with us. But yeah, we've got some new kit to be toying out there. I'm actually really excited because the next one, we've got some new kit that doesn't just make it easier for me and more reliable. We're actually able to bring in, oh, that's a nice blue one there. We've got, yeah, some new, we can actually bring in our night vision binoculars. So like last time we had Pete, one of our co-hosts there, like looking around going, oh, that looks cool, that looks cool. But we can now feed it directly into you. So if he sees something cool, we can switch a button from this view, from this camera, into the night vision as well. So the close-ups on anything in particular interest. And it is a little bit different up there. We do see things not just high up, but kind of more within the atmosphere. So it's a different sort of stream, and I get scared, and you can laugh at me. I've got one refraction photography, keep it boxed. And I'm in there just taking a break from you. That's all good, Kate. You got to keep on with the work. We need this book finished. Got one eye on the chat and one eye on your file. Otherwise, if book 11 isn't going to sort itself out there, Kate. And gunship above Warminster is actually a Lockheed AC-130. Oh my god. Yeah, a bit of luck we're not showing the lasers at those guys. Oh, that is actually pretty cool, Riv. Little rock and minerals there. Some of them, like the older I get, the more interested I am into those sorts of things there. Barrett, Ghost Rider, never late. They arrive precisely when they mean to. Ginger shots are great for a cold. You know what? I always forget. Immediately, I forget all of the good, healthy stuff. So I will try next week for that. Next week, tomorrow, when I eventually leave the house. Thank you for the heads up there. And Noel there, I'm new here. Where else can we find... Good to have you in. Where are you joining us from? So where else can we find? What else? We've got to keep looking out tonight. We've got to follow all these objects. Don't rely on the tracker. It's not that good. It's having a little problems with the heat, I think. But see these faint objects that are moving? Like you've got another one down there. It's tracking this one at the moment.
Zoom mode activated.
So it's objects like this. We need to see them stop dead, shoot off at speed, change their course or trajectory, because that tells us for sure that there's something a little bit stranger going on in the night sky there. And there are actual worms in space, by the way. It's to study... how microgravity and deep space radiation impacts muscle and biological health. That is pretty cool. There are legitimate space worms. But it doesn't quite beat, does it, the zombie lizard sex satellite, though, does it? Nothing's going to beat that. Close my window so the neighbours don't hear me prattling on. Nothing beats the out of control as the lizard sex satellite. And Loch Lomond there. Oh no, you've done that. One chat in there. Has anyone in chat actually seen a UFO there? Something that generally cannot be explained in any way. So we've had them on here. There've been the anomalous movement there. And again, it's that when you're talking at these altitudes, when you're seeing like the 90-degree turns or the zigzags, again, it's very, very rare. But they are very, very anomalous. A lot of us have seen that if we've been here a long time. But again, some of you guys have actually had like a proper, you know, close encounters of the third kind sort of like real craft detail. So feel free to pop in if you've had one of those there. And Gazin, how are you guys doing? Good to see you in. How is it still hot where you are? It's bloody killing us here. I knew on here there. Where else can we find you apart from the tube? So TikTok is one. We are on Twitch normally, but we're not at the minute because I'm waiting until we get fibre back into this area so we can afford to do it properly. But if you're on the tubes, you've probably got the best quality show. So if you are guys over on TikTok there, you got the vertical one. It looks like this over on the tubes. It's round the right way, less of my face, more of the night sky, all sorts of other contextual analysis and all that sort of stuff there. So do check us out over there at The Thing UFO. I do think it's a better quality one there. Robert is in as well. How are we tonight? Should we start organising to do the CU5 thing over the winter? Oh, that could be a good one, yes. I'm up for that. And Arizona there, stargazing. Good to have you in. Oh, I do like a bit of Arizona. Technically, I've been to Arizona, and by that I mean I've put my foot over the line on the Hoover Dam. So I can claim I've been to 2 American states there. Lots of history of the UFO phenomena over your way. Have you ever seen anything strange in the night skies there? And Kate as well, we do have a channel. Oh, and the Discord, yeah, that is separate from the regular chat. And if you're on the Discord and you want adding there, let them know. Yeah, let me or Kate know, and we can add you to the CE5 if you're into that sort of thing over in the Discord. But for everybody else, if you're not on our Discord yet, it's a great little community over there. My favourite part is the personal experiences section there, so link in the bio. But the personal experience section is a place where you guys can share your images, videos, and your accounts with the phenomena. So you guys can add yours, just read through what has already been shared by the community. It's phenomenal. And I think Discord have actually upped their file size that you can post now. So you can do double. So if there are videos you couldn't post previously or images that were too big, try it again now. But all the latest UFO news is posted and shared there, plus some other stuff. We've got a little spooky channel. Do join us over there. Beating me up there, Sky. How you doing, Costas? And I was expecting lots of yeses, but it shows how rare a true unexplainable sighting actually is. Ed, you're right. You are right. Now, we do get... I mean, the biggest one by far is the anomalous light movement there. But I think that the true unexplainable, what we have to remember is that, again, so that the movement, I said, if we're watching this object now at these sorts of altitudes, if that does start zigzagging, you know, or anything like that, that is impossible for a satellite to do. So that is still an interesting sighting there. But like your classic UFO sighting, yeah, they are much rarer. I think as an explanation for this, and again, it feels like it's really close to being proven now, is that actually, you know, that you've probably heard of the plasmoid theory, so that, you know, certain times plasma caught in a magnetic field could be a sentient form of life. And it was the conclusion of the Condign report from the UK government there, a report of... I think it's the Robertson panel as well from the US government there, and again there's a lot of scientists looking into this now, and they feel like they're very close to being able to say, look, this is what we think is going on. So I think a lot of it, which would explain it as well, because the amount of sightings that people have across the board is a hell of a lot. So for me, that never quite added up for the extraterrestrial component. Like, how are people seeing so much if they're, you know, people popping from A to B? You know, it didn't quite up the numbers. But if there is a sentient form of plasma life that's been with us here the whole time, we've just not recognised it because we don't interact with it as much, and you know, it's so different from us, then that for me, that was an interesting explanation. Could be a lot of what we're seeing. And Grandmaster, what's a hotspot? Well, anywhere we say, I don't know, is it over 10 sightings in a regular time period there? And Ribs on the Discord for the CE5, and it's where you try meditations and things to call in UAPs. It's not the most knowledgeable on it though. App will explain about it. App can do that one, yeah, the CE5 stuff there. And it's A2. Where can I get a t-shirt from? So we've got out the thing one. So it should be a link in bio, but shop.thethingufo.live. There we go. To remember it right, that will take you to the shop there. We should do the international shipping. It definitely does the UK. If it doesn't, let me know, and I'll have to set it up for you guys elsewhere in the world. But yeah, we've got a few different ones. Where's my other one tonight? So we've got our normal logo one that I was just wearing there. We've got our Skywatcher one, which is that design there, and we've got a Signal Hunter one for our other streams. So they're all over there, so it all goes back into the stream. And said it gets us closer to being able to do more and more things. No down the pub for us. Lee as well coming in there, feeding thanks, Alan. Guys. Appreciate that one. And early one there. Oh, Mars there. No kit for 40 hours. Oh my God, there. Too much back pain. Oh, I feel for you there, Mars. That pain as well. Not letting you sleep to double it up there. That is awful. Well, yeah, try and get some rest up there. Looking into maybe one of these new digital smart telescopes. They seem like a fun. They really do. They're so good now. I hear that the Dwarf 3 is really good. It's got a UFO mode, so it uses its wide field camera to track moving objects, and then we'll just zoom in on them. Obviously, it catches a lot of planes and things like that, but that seems like a fun feature. Maybe book 2 will sort itself out, though. Right itself. Oh, Grandma, I'm still ill. How are we doing, Liberty? It's all right. Better late than never. How are you doing there? Lethal as well, coming in with the gifts. Thank you for that, Lethal. How are we doing tonight? Fresh garlic. If you ate the fresh garlic chopped on toast with the OJ, you'd be better by now. I probably would, but I forget, though. Unless I write it down, I totally forget. It's only you saying that reminded me that you guys were suggesting the garlic. And... the neighbours have phoned the police, not for the first time. This is only a small village. Everybody does tend to know everybody, even though I try to be reclusive. And, yeah, I've already probably got the reputation because the bright green light shining out my window and the massive dish on my roof. And some of them is like £3,000 to £4,000, and the others are £3,000. So I guess you pay more tech, the quality is high. Yeah, like if anything, the more money you pay, the more features you can get. Oh, good use of the grid, guys. Oh, there it is. Yeah, perfectly aligned there, coming through down that. So if you guys want to trigger the grid, if you type A2, for example, whatever the grid reference is, if you're spotting something that isn't being tracked, we're not paying enough attention to, it will highlight the grid. There's a bit of a delay, so try and predict the square you think it's going to be in, and that way we can all see it when they pop up. I can zoom in on the good ones there. Gen X as well, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight? Sorry, it took me a second there. Where are we? Down here as well. Yes. And what's that pinkish thing there? Oh, X3, the pinkish. This one here, this is the purpley one. This is Vega, 26 light years from us here on Earth there. Burning much hotter and much brighter than our star, the Sun. It won't last as long, but it is also about 300 times the size. Absolutely massive, that star. Cool to see. Seen some unexplainable stuff. Are you? Tell us more. We want to hear all about it there. Too late. They already heard you say the sex satellite, and now they think that the light is... That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I've just shouted that out to the neighbours. That is a... Oh, rain here again, but only light. Apparently we had some rain last night. I didn't see it. I don't know if it's true there. Emma as well, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us in from tonight? Guys, if you're new here, do say hello. Let us know where you're all watching from. We're doing our live UFO, UAP, Skywatch coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of crop circle country and just down the road from Stone Henge. So yeah, say hello, ask away any questions. There's no silly questions here at all. We want to hear from you all. But yeah, we're looking out for the strange and anomalous. We need to see objects like this. Stop dead, shoot off at speed, change course or trajectory, because these objects are essentially, if they're up there in orbit at these altitudes, they're falling to Earth in a big circle. They can't just stop and, you know, change course or direction. Any satellites, any movements that satellites and that can make are so subtle we wouldn't notice that change here. So we need to see that for us to be sure that it is something anomalous. Watching from Romania, good to have you in as always, Robert. How are your skies? Have you seen it strange in there lately? Only issue is in winter is that we won't be able to see the sky, as the Skywatch is pretty crap over winter. We need to do while we get the clear sky. So that is a good point. And we did have clear nights during winter. It wasn't as bad as I thought. It's obviously much different because we've been spoilt now with how many clear skies we've had doing with this heat wave. But yeah, we still got some clear nights, so maybe we'll align it. We still did a few on locations that were pretty clear. And Emily there, love to be able to... so if you follow the link in the bio, it should kind of do the invite thing for that. And once you're in, we should be able... Some people, it makes us... We need to approve. Some people, it just lets you in. So it is meant to just let you in, but it messes around to check if there's any pending ones. Nope, no pending at the minute. Yeah, so if you follow the links in the description there for the Discord, it should prompt you to join the server. I've been looking at the... Unistellar Odyssey Pro. Well, not even heard of that one, but it is pricey, and all the reviews say it's the king of the... That's why I can't afford it. I'm not even looking at it. I'll have to have a look into it. Sounds cool there. And what's the biggest group of satellites seen on a live stream there? Like Starlink or something. Yeah, we've definitely seen Starlink. We've seen it multiple times, and it's always phenomenal. Like when you see it really close together, it looks really cool. You see it spread out. Only the other week, we actually had it... No, it was a couple of days back. We had a Starlink pass over train, and they were probably about that far apart on the screen, so... half a grid box apart, and it went on and it went on and it went. I'm like watching it going, come on, is it done yet? It just kept on going. So many in that one there. Leave in the house, and we've seen silent trains quite a few times. They're always phenomenal. What was that sound? Oh, that sound is, I think that's my Discord. Hold on, let me turn it off. Leaving the sound on there. That's why I was assisting doing it as a Patreon there with the interested dedicated to attend with a few days' notice. Okay, that's not a bad shout. That's not a bad shout. Yes. And sounded like a 2000s mobile booting up. Yeah, I think it's where I've got my laptop plugged in so I can do the dog whistle. I think it's picking up my Discord for it there. I did mention Earth has a space fleet, right? Yep, was it the Tehran fleet you're saying? And if I was to get a shirt there, I would expect it hand-delivered by at least by Alan. Well, Banana, I can't guarantee anything from Alan. You know what he's like. But there is a Team Alan shirt, which has been, to my disappointment, surprisingly popular. So you can get a Team Alan shirt. Surprise, surprise, that's Alan's favourite. Does sentient plasmoid life, I mean intelligent plasmoid life though, and is it alien? So the very good questions around it. Not necessarily alien. You know, I would suspect that it's probably just been here the whole time. I don't know if it would be, because it's non-biological in the sense that we understand, I don't know if it would be as linked to the Earth physically as we are, like that. You know, maybe it is, maybe it's not. And in our intelligence, a good question. So what they're saying at the minute is that why it's interesting them is that it does seem to be that, you know, these plasma orbs are, you know, interacting with their environment, responding to stimulus, you know, that sort of thing. There, you know, you can flash at them, they'll flash back. They work with each other. You know, they interact in that sort of sense. Even reproduction, you know, one becoming multiple going backwards. So that's why there's interest. They don't just seem to be just ball lightning or just, you know, non-sentient objects or just balls of plasma. There does seem to be a difference in the way that they're interacting in the environment. But beyond that, I don't know. So my gut would lean to, you know, plasma, you know, life, it's just going to be another form of life here. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is, you know, big brains. Might mean that it might just be so different from us that, you know, thinking of how we understand intelligence might be so linked to our biology, maybe the same rules don't apply. I don't know, but it's interesting. Daldal finally here, but good to see you, Daldal. And Ian there, have you read Andy's book from that UFO? Oh no, it's actually on my list. That's the Atlas of UFOs, isn't it? It is on my list because I think that's a really great format to put it in there, having that geographical spread. I haven't yet. I'll have to add it to my. Well, it's definitely on my list. Don't do the garlic on an office day. So they already don't like me anyway. I don't need much of an excuse. And Emma there, hi, how are you there? Good to see you, Emma. Good to have you in. How do you feel about the UFO phenomenon? Are you curious like us? You don't have to be. You can be totally just enjoying the night sky. Where in the world are you joining us from? I'm a few minutes behind in the chat, guys. Not too bad. I'm 5 minutes behind. So we'll get to your messages. It doesn't take too long to get there. There's a Welsh UFO movie starring Michael Sheen coming out called Out There, about an astronomer who's watching UFO. Now, I do like a bit of Michael Sheen, so Frost Nixon is an underrated film. I might watch that this evening. But I am well up for that. We've got a couple of places on our... I've chucked T-shirts absolutely everywhere, guys, and showing off all these. So we've also, speaking of Welsh, this is our tour T-shirt. It's got the UK map, it's round reversed, but you see the UK map with all the different cryptids and UFOs and the locations. But it's got the locations on the back. This is what prompted me. So in Wales, with Midlands and Wales, Cannock Chase, the Berwyn Mountains and Broadhaven, they're places that apparently have had sightings / crashes. Going to be interesting there. But overall, Scotland, we're doing Loch Ness because, okay, not necessarily UFO linked there, but I haven't been. Sounds like a good place, you know, proper shot down the loch, looking at the night sky, beautiful. Calvine, so the Calvine UFO sighting was pretty cool. Decmont Law and Bonnie Bridge, that's the Falkirk Triangle. North, Ilkley Moor, Pendle Hill, Todmorden. Midlands and Wales, Cannock Chase, Bowen Mountains, Broadhaven. South and southwest is Rendlesham Forest. We'll probably start off from Clay Hill, which is literally the same town as us, and Bodmin Moor. We're probably going to add Dartmoor to that one because why not? It's not too far. And also Bempton as well on the Yorkshire coast. So any suggestions, guys? We've got an on the road section on the Discord. You can do more locations in there. But once we've done a few, it'll just become easier for us to do it, so I'm sure we'll end up doing more and more on locations for those. And how are we there? And David as well. Oh my, hard to understand for an old man, but amazed. David, honestly the same here. It is the same. And welcome aboard. All we can do is be curious, can't we? I find that the more I just keep doing so, I pick up a little bit more each time. But I think we're all, you know, just the universe and its vastness is just so... There's no chances that us as simple humans, you know, with our limited processing power of our brain, that we're going to understand all of it there. So never worry too much about that, you know, as long as we're all, you know, curious, I think is the important bit. And I'm definitely learning as I go along. But that's the wonderful thing about the internet, is that if you're wrong, somebody will tell you. Yeah, people come in, we can crowdsource our knowledge and our experiences. This is what a fantastic time to be alive, where we can do this. We get so many cool people coming in with all of their knowledge and their life experience here, helping us refine what we're doing. Oh, that's a nice golden one.
Zoom mode activated.
Sorry guys, sniffing away. There you go, fading out there. But yeah, hopefully we're we'll just meet more people that can explain how we can do it all together there. If you've got any questions, David, ask away. There's no silly questions here at all. I know what you mean exactly, Mars. And 26 light years is just about 246 trillion kilometers away. Exactly. You wouldn't want to walk it, would you, head skeptic there? So in space terms, that's at the end of our street. It's not far at all. Our closest stellar neighbour is Proxima Centauri, and that is 4.2 light years away. So that's next door. So 26 light years, literally just at the end of the street. It's not far at all in space terms. dedication there. And about from Afghanistan. Awesome. Well, I think you might be our first in from Afghanistan. What is the UFO and the alien culture there? Like, what's the opinion generally? So, like, here in the UK, there's groups of people that believe it, but if you talk about it mostly in public or at work, people are, they treat you like you're crazy. Is it similar over in Afghanistan there, or is there explanations? Do people view it as a different sort of phenomena, whereas we're viewing it as sort of ET, you know, from other planets? Is there a different explanation for these sorts of things, these lights in the skies? I'd love to hear about that. And again, this is what's so fantastic about this modern world being connected. We actually get to hear this from people, their sightings from their opinions, their ideas and their thoughts. What a wonderful world. And nothing unusual there, just some planes flying lower than usual. Well, you never know, maybe they're chasing something. Keep your eyes out though, Robert. There. Ah, your son there. I love it. Lethal, I'm not writing, Kate is. Kate's writing her memoirs. Smutty Allen books. It's raining in Yorkshire there. Is it gone? It's always raining in Yorkshire. It's not rained here yet, though. I'll catch you later, Mars. Hope you get some rest. Oh, thank you, God. That's appreciated there. I'll be all right. I'm just milking a cold. So that's why I'm a bit nasally and a bit tonight. But I'm sure it'll be all fine for tomorrow. Just have ribbon to drink. R4 there, that purple light in B4 is nice. That is a Vega. Absolutely stunning, isn't it there? 26 light years from us here on Earth. Absolutely crazily beautiful there. Big, bright, purple, beautiful Vega. We'll spin the old camera around in a second now. Take you 32,000 years to count to a trillion. Space numbers are big. They are. And it's like, I know what a billion is. I know what a million is, but I can't feel it and I can't picture it. You know, so we talk about all these distances and it so quickly just gets into numbers that just melt my brain. You know, like I don't get that connection to it. Which is yours next week. And don't wait. Oh, actually, Kate, I need to message you guys for those about that. Just don't wear your Team Allen t-shirt when shopping in IKEA yet. Yeah, don't tell IKEA. They ain't contacted us yet. And AL2 for those ones. And the Unistellar Odyssey Pro is around 4.5 to 5 grand. Oh god, yeah, no. If we had an extra 2, we'd replace this camera. But no, I wouldn't mind going for the Dwarf 3. That's about 500. I mean, it's more than I got the minute. But at some point, there. Need a Team Allen shirt there. I might bribe the hubby to get you on for your birthday. It's your birthday on Saturday. Vicky, you have to remind us. Hopefully, you won't be in and you'll be having some awesome celebrations, being thoroughly spoiled. But if you are, do give us a shout. We'll have to say happy birthday. And lucky they're seeing 701s there. They can do a 4.4 million miles an hour. So the getting your heads around. I mean, I don't even know what light speed is and the actual numbers of it there. But the only way we do think, don't we, to actually successfully traverse these distances, because even at the speed of light, it's actually quite slow. If you see what light speed looks like, you know, from the sun to the Earth or from the Earth to Mars, let alone these vast distances, it looks like that. It's not actually as fast as you think, and that is the speed limit, as far as we know, by our understanding of physics, of the speed limit of the universe. Nothing, not even data, can travel faster than that. So, how realistically would anybody travel these distances from A to B? Well, the only way we can think of is warp drive or wormhole. Sounds very sci-fi, very futuristic, but it's not actually science fiction there. You know, some scientists have looked into this and it doesn't break physics. We just can't build one because we don't have the energy to do so. But it's more than plausible. Some other scientists recently actually plotted what would it look like if somebody was using one of these warp drives. You know, how would that affect visually look for us? You know, and it turns out there would be certain sort of red or blue shifting of the light and gravitational lensing, so blending that light, because you're essentially, you know, bending gravity around yourself. You're bending the universe to move rather than you moving. Is how they can get around the speed limit. And it does look like that if you apply that plot of what that would look like to some classic UFO images and some modern ones, it looks like that could be what might be on the cars. Where do they get the energy from, though? There. Tell us more about Lucky, about the about those ones that you saw there. And Leafy, I'm going to post a video on Discord soon. A few lights flying in the sky last night. Very interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, Leafy. Oh, God, I've got so many things to catch up on there. And got looking smart. It's having to start saving. Yeah, it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. But I mean, the next thing that we need to do, guys, is the Starlink. And we're done for the Starlink. We've got enough for that. What we're saving up for is the battery for the Starlink. is the next one. But we're very, very, very close. So it's going to happen. So I think we're looking to get that next month, basically. And then that means that we're fully independent to do the lives. So we're hopefully then going to next month do a couple of on locations locally to test it. And then maybe, very provisionally, October will be kicking off the first of the on location UFO tours with Rendlesham Forest, hopefully, if all goes to plan. But yeah, very, very frustratingly close to that. Frustrating's the wrong word for it, but yeah, we're really, really close to having all done for that. And then I think from that point, once we've done that, it's going to be get the dog whistle. Well, basically, we need an old second-hand phone to sort that. I need a portable speaker, because at the minute I'm using to get the frequency range that we need to do the dog whistle to summon them in. I've got speakers here, that's fine, but if we want to do that mobile, we'll need a certain type of portable speaker that does that range. Again, so it's just on the list there. Oh, I got something to do with my phone, but it will be on the tube, on the laptop. Yeah, and Tobin, I live in Norway, so these prices I can put a 25 on top of it there. That is ridiculous, 25. That is crazy. I mean, yeah, we have the import taxes and stuff like an extra 20%, but it's a lot there. What's that, Rib? YouTube 52 Dwarf Minis linked together. Like an array. That would be cool. So you should do a Loch Lomond on the way. Inverness, if it's not raining. It'll probably be raining, though, Loch, wouldn't it? Well, you never know. Like, when we're in those areas, yeah, we probably will, pop by and say hi to people. Yeah, I think we'd have to look how many days, because we've got a couple of locations around there, so if we can fit it all in, I would love to do more. I've not really spent much time in Scotland, which is a crime. There's Steg as well, and Jace. And Lucy, guys, thank you for the follows and the shares. Appreciate those, guys. Where are you all joining us from tonight? Do say hello. And if you are new here, guys, yeah, say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. Ask away any questions. There's no silly questions here at all. I want to hear from you all. And cards there. Oh, the Kandahar Giant is the story from Afghanistan. I'm obsessed with that. It's an interesting one. It really is there. Andy is in. How are we doing tonight? Chris too. We are the aliens. Well, possibly. You know, it's been the assumption, hasn't it, that life must have started here on Earth. But the more we're looking, the more clues that we're getting that probably didn't actually initially start here. That science is open to the idea of panspermia, the idea that life is kind of just seeded everywhere. We haven't proven it, but it's a very plausible theory. And there's some scientists recently were looking at, due to with our current knowledge of evolution, how long would it take to go from that real simple form of life to kind of where we are up to now? And essentially, they did the maths on each step, and by their calculations, we're short of time. There hasn't been enough time on Earth for us to have fully evolved from nothing here. We're about 2 billion years short of time, apparently. Now, funnily enough, Mars was habitable and Earth-like for 2 billion years before the Earth was. So maybe at the very least we came from there. Okay, Luton. The standard model is wrong. Quite probably, Chrissy, quite probably. I think we need to just remember what science is, which is our best working guess at the moment. And it's a good starting point, but we can't dogmatically hold to it there. Raf, you're here just playing games and are listening there. Playing games with Alan's heart. You're just staring at the old... at the tracker. And Daniel, how are you doing there? Yes, so panspermia. I'm a big fan of panspermia there. Definitely with that when you look at those maths. Now, again, that's a paper. I'm sure there's going to be other people coming in going, actually, we don't believe the paper or we don't think it's right and this or that there. But it's interesting that there's a conversation around it. What about ludicrous speed? That's a Spaceballs reference, isn't it? Forming a new standard model. Oh, let us know. Where do you think in particular it's going wrong there? Whole lot of bending. It's what we do here. Briggsy, how are you doing? Anything new tonight? Oh, you're getting a lot of flashes on the screen. Sorry, guys, about that. It's normally a graphics card overheating issue. Yeah, hold on. Let me pause the tracker for a second. Right, I'm going to spin the camera. We've got a new toy. So I'm a few minutes behind the chat, but I will get to you guys. But I want to play with this for a second. So we can now spin that camera around a little bit easier. We've got more control. So let's go down. Let's have a look at the back of my garden. You can see my washing line. There you go. No, we're not here to see the washing line, Sam. Hold on, go up. But let's see how far this way we can... Oh, no, it's reversed. It's going to make you a bit seasick, guys. Up a bit. Is that the Big Dipper? I think that the Big Dipper should be around here somewhere. cloud coming over from that way. But yeah, look, we've got much better control. There's Vega, the big bright one. You can always see it's a good reference point. The second bright one there now, look, into, where is that? In B3, that is Deneb. Yeah, that is Deneb. So that is 20. That's 2,600 light years away. So one's 26 light years. One's the bright one's 26. The other one is 2,600. So let's have a look around here. Oh, see, this is brighter now because this is over that part of town now where there's a bit of light pollution. Can I go? Ooh. I will bring it back in a minute, guys. I'm just playing with the toy. That one in the middle there. So, guys, all of these other stars, these are stars like our sun, bigger, brighter, some of them smaller, duller. But as far as we know, most of them have got planets around them. This one here, this looks like a smudge star. This is a whole other galaxy with billions and billions of stars and billions of planets around them there. It's Andromeda, and it's on its way to merge with the Milky Way. Right, I haven't tried this one, but let's just... Oh, no, wrong way, guys. Let me see if we can... I'm just curious. Oh, it's my neighbour's house. Hold on. I've never done this on stream before. Oh, right, that bright light, that's me. Can I put my hands on the window? No, you won't see it. It's too bright. There we go. Oh, no, that's too bright. Hold on. There we go. Let's actually bring us down to the night sky. Yes, so that's why that light is bright, because it's this room in here. But anyway, let's go to the night sky. Oh, that's a nice bright one. It's a new toy tonight, so I wanted to play with that one. But yeah, we better do the moon lens as well. Yeah, I dropped the remote. That's a nice bright one there.
The new remote?
Yeah. Luckily it's sturdy. Yeah, so we got to do the moon lens a lot better, but also respond and move around. So when things go off screen, we've got a little bit more play now to kind of get access to them. It's not tracking that big bright one, is it? Look. Oh, there you go, just about. Anyway, when do we get to the track? Brings it in, yeah, just the toy there. And KWS, what's the purple thing on the left? So that one is now, we've moved it, but that is Vega, 26 light years from us here there. Lucy as well there, coming in with the follows. Where are you joining us from tonight? Dara and Vicky coming in with the gifts too. Appreciate that, guys. All goes back into the stream. Same as the merch, the super chats, the members, the patrons, all that jazz there. So, no, I don't think it is rubbish. Are we all right on the just checking the connection there? Just come up for the first time ever that it's disconnected on OBS. So I just want to make sure that TikTok is still, not TikTok, YouTube is still running. Yeah, we are. There we go. So, no, well, our understanding of all these things is still limited. It's our best guess there. But if we travel in a sphere on a gravitational wave, it's not technically true. We don't know the actual geometry of the universe, do we? So those things aren't well established. And again, the maths work out. So, you know, I think you can definitely put a counter-argument to it. It's definitely not guaranteed. But it doesn't break physics by the understood means at the minute there. And if you go down to the woods today, you better not go alone there, because Sam's going to be hiding in the bushes filming UFOs. That almost rhymes, Grandmaster. It's me, the one that's scared, though. The entire solar system is a high-dimensional volcano erupting. Daniel, oh, you mentioned this one the other day. I thought it was somebody else, but no, it was you, wasn't it? Yeah. Mercury is the iron basin. Venus is the magma chamber. Oh, TikTok's having a sulk now. It's all going off sideways, guys. It's all going off. Sorry. There's normally one sulk at some point, but they are giving us fibre here soon. Piece of shit, TikTok. Sorry, guys, that's our connection issues for the night should be sorted. No, it's gone up high. There we go. Oh, yeah. Hopefully it'll settle down. We are getting fibre here soon, so hopefully, yeah, we won't have those issues. But yeah, we'll see how we get on for that. We now know we're not special. They think life is going to be abundant. So if you're saying that we can travel these distances, it is possible to achieve some sort of ability to do that, then that eliminates the only barrier that was left. So therefore, aliens is a high plausible one there. And Lewis is in as well. Where are you joining us from tonight? Sky is busy tonight. It's very, very good there. Hope the universe is cyclic, and that way, in the unimagined future, we'll all be back again and live the same life again, right down to the atoms in their movement. So, well, definitely the Big Bang is thought that could be, couldn't it? You know, the universe is this expansion and contraction is one of the theories. It could be cyclic there. I don't know if it all repeats, but it might do. It might. So Pluto makes up the cold, frozen, burnt and volatile gases and the water vapour emitted from the eruption. It's very symbolic. And Torben, I am waiting for a bloody kit for my van. It's produced in the UK and needs to be shipped to Norway. Before it comes to the body shop, it is £3,000. And then to paint it and fitting on top, say 60. Oh my God. That is ridiculous money. Ridiculous there. And Briggsy, what software? So this is one not building ourselves, hence it's a little bit janky. And not getting good tracks there, so we do make all this stuff available to you guys. So once it's more stable, I'm sure it will be available, so make sure you're in the Discord for that one. But we're already over on our website once we get past this little video, and it'll show you just the normal our schedule there, the merch, the deep dives for our members, the Discord, all the normal website stuff. Once you log in, you have to log in with the same emails. You have to register with the same email on our site as you use for our Patreon. The free tier works, so we know you're not a bot, but you get access to this, which is our sensor dashboard, and it tracks things like the Schumann resonance, geomagnetic index, solar wind speed, solar flare activity. I mean, there's so many things, I've forgotten all the ones there, but you can tick and get rid of the ones that you don't need, that you're not interested in tracking, and you can pop them out as well, so you're always, you know, getting all that extra contextual data for your hunt and searching. But also you get access to our SETI computer that is listening out for alien radio signals in deep space. That computer is always running, pointing up to the night sky, and you can go in there and log them all. But yeah, you also then get it's not on the video there, but you get access to the dog whistle, so if you've got suitable speakers too, you can summon in your own UFOs, apparently. Try with that. But yeah, when this is, the tracker is better, let me in fact refresh it, because it intends to have a sulk. Let's see if this works now. Turn the settings down. Yeah, so let's see if it picks up some tracks there. When that's more stable, we'll make a version available to you guys there. How are you doing, Dara? Good to see you in. Hope you're doing well. And I read my theory, going to the Royal Society tomorrow. No matter. Interesting. Good thing is, insurance case. Oh, it's an insurance case, so I don't have to pay for it. Oh my God, yeah. Thank God. Jesus, yeah. Get the money out of them there, Spaceballs. I do love that film. One of the quotes from that always sits with me is merchandise, the real where the real money from the movie is made. And guys, do consider checking out the tubes, especially good and clear nights. It is, guys. So if you are on the TikTok, this is what it looks like on the tubes. Much more of the sky, less of my face. All sorts of extra contextual data and analysis there. So it's definitely worth checking out the Thing UFO. It's normally more stable than the other ones there. Does it zoom in? We can do, but it is a digital zoom. So if we do this,
activated.
So we're zooming in, but we're digitally zooming in. So it always gets like a less and less quality, but it gives us a little bit of play there. But like, roughly speaking, when it comes to camera lenses, you can either do how good it is in low light, or you can zoom. There's a trade-off between the two. So we've picked low light, give us the opportunity to see as much as possible. Apparently new PM can't even text the White House properly. Oh my God, yeah. What's that about? He got, yeah, ridiculous. Feeling when you can't remember where you parked. Flying pigs. And how are you doing, Lee? Good to see you there. It's the plough. Oh, is that the plough? Oh, you mean the terminology for it? Yeah, I think it's too far round, actually, though, either way. And otherwise, there, a chatty bunch over there, working through the chat. We'll get there slowly. But yeah, you're all welcome over there as well. And a Google image of a black hole star there, or the new images of the sun's surface. They're all really, really cool. But you can't actually get an image of a black hole, can you? So the images that we have now are, a lot of them are computer simulations, but what we're able to get is the light from the stars around them. So where it's lensing the light from behind it, you know, gravity does that, like it puts all the light from behind it around, it gives itself a halo, or when something's interacting with it, when it's tearing a planet or something apart, you can see that. But the very nature of a black hole, nothing leaves it, no light, so you can only see the absence of it around there. And the JWS, so James Webb Telescope, sees mature galaxies because there is an expanding plasma layer. The standard model says after a recombination it's cleared, and it didn't. So I mean, I'm a big fan of the standard model being incredibly wrong. You know, our best working guess to this point, but it always needs to be updated. And you're right, James Webb is really pushing that back again. It's the case of the more we look, the more we see, and we can go back to, I mean, any point in history. But a great example of this is like Newtonian physics versus general relativity and stuff like that. Now, like Newton and his apple, you know, it was simple. It explained what we could see in the world, and you know, our limited vision of the heavens with the early telescopes, what we could see of the planets and how they worked. Newtonian gravity basically explained all of that. But when our technology got more advanced and we could see more precision, it didn't explain, it didn't hold up anymore. It wasn't precise enough. There were anomalies within it, and that's when, you know, general relativity and things like that, you know, needed to come in, and you know, those models needed to be advanced there. So what is the chance that our current models explain whatever reality is very, very slow. It's just based on what we can observe there. Added to the general there, 44 seconds, 8 deep lethal. Thank you. We'll check that one out there. I've been on the lash now, in a good way. Yeah, at The Thing UFO, you'll find us on all the platforms there. And the orbits of the planets trace the volcano and the eruption-filled shadow. I kind of get the principle of it there, but I don't know why they're expressed as planets rather than, you know, how we would see it there. I still not following on that part. Maybe we see you, your female neighbour. Getting the pants on. I don't think I've got any female neighbours. But it could be an interesting one. Yeah, never make an astronaut. Of course I wouldn't. Could you imagine? There. Al, how are we doing there? Thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight? And Chrissy there, Andromeda has now got a magnetic ring there, proving again, no dark matter. Chrissy, I'm bang on with that one. Dark matter, dark, I'm more open to dark energy, but still, dark. If scientists are putting dark in front of it, it means that they don't want to go back and actually do the maths correctly. You know, it's this. The maths doesn't math. How can we fudge it? Right, dark something. Yeah, they're lazy basically. So I am 100% on board with that. And if you can dodge a ball, you can dodge a flux liner. Are they? Oh, they slow then. And KWS is the zoom option. Yes, there is, but it's a digital zoom. There, Chrissy is what evening, and Torben. Pretty sure he does not fly the LC planes with those controls. There'll be a lot of crashes. I've gone through 5 this week. It's new. It's new. It's literally today. But the problem is the up and down work as you expect, but the left and right are reversed. Maybe there's something basic I'm doing wrong with that, but. In order to see the video posted in the general section. Yes, so guys, if you want to see Lethal's video, it'll be in the general section over on the Discord there. A little bit of zoom. And Al there, hi there. I knew here maybe the essence. The essence reactions are an intelligence defending strike and awaiting. So, I mean, interesting, the essence reaction. So, what's the essence reaction there? But again, the phenomena itself is so vast, isn't it? Like the way it expresses what people report, and again, a lot of that is going to be down to us as individuals. We don't see and describe objective reality. We see things filtered through our own education, our own, you know, cultural structures and things like that. So there's going to be the variation there, but the phenomena itself, regardless of that, does seem to be highly, highly variable. So a lot of things could be going on there. Yeah, buggered it now. Yeah. You don't need the warp drive. Well, what do you need? Yeah, I think we had a sulk. I think Leanne had the audacity to put some TV on there. Exactly right. See what happens. Hey, it's a new feature. Doesn't take from the internet. Actually, hold on. Let me just move that sadly. Hold on. No, I was wondering if there's a correlation because this is run at a similar frequency as the Wi-Fi. See if there's a correlation between like them blocking the signal. But then I'm not on the Wi-Fi anyway for these. It's hardwired in. Worth the standing. It really is in this day and age, isn't it, the buffering? Luckily, we're all right, but there's normally like 1 or 2 blips a night. So this is rural internet, so I'm surprised that we can do what we can do. But I've seen the BT man in the street, or the open reach gentleman, as I should say, and they are putting fibre in. So hopefully it shouldn't be too long before we can get to that. Foxella works there, called approach remote as you wish. And the neighbour is messing you in there. I wouldn't be surprised. He's sat down and he's gone, you know what I fancy watching? I fancy downloading all of the Lord of the Rings, Director's Cut, 4K. There goes the internet there. Yeah, it's like it bounces between the two. One has a salt, then it throws off the other one. Neighbour shower there. Should be all back now though. Where are we? Nathan is in. How are you doing tonight, Nathan? Yeah, we can zoom in on the purple star. This beautiful one
Zoom mode
is
activated.
Vega, 26 light years from us on Earth. There you go there. So quite close. You wouldn't want to walk it. Not our closest neighbour. Burning much hotter and brighter than our star, the sun. Won't last as long, but it is pretty cool. This one over here is Deneb there. So if the one we looked at before was 26 light years, this is 2,600 light years away from us. Pretty cool. Yeah. Fuck's sake. Grandmaster, that actually made me cough my guts up there. It's hilarious. Got to be owl there, got to be NHI. So, I mean, there's lots of it there. When I first got into the phenomena, I think it's back in the 90s, what we had, it was all little green men in metal spaceships crashing in the desert, wasn't it? Coming from different planets. And that's, I think, part of the phenomenon. I think it's a good explanation for some of it. But also, you've got the extratemporal. We're taking time into this, because if you're making a ship that can traverse these distances, you're also making a time machine. The same thing. So it's not as ridiculous. And maybe Us from the future definitely fits quite heavily with what people report with the current greys. But you've got the dimensional aspect to this, not in a Hollywood sense, but how we think other dimensions, would work and how we would perceive certain things. Really interesting. Lots of things could be going on there. NHI could be non-human intelligence, could be a pre-existing civilization from this Earth. Could be, an extraterrestrial one there, or it could be some life form that is so strange, like we were talking about the plasmoids earlier. And if life was everywhere, we would see it everywhere, and James Webb would see structures. So that's where I wouldn't think so, Chrissy there. So this is the thing. We like to think that we're where all the aliens, the Fermi paradox, but to be honest, we haven't had good ways of looking. We do not have good coverage of the night sky. We do not have detailed coverage of a lot of these things as well. Things like the James Webb we're looking at we can only see very, very, very big things like at certain distances, galaxies. We can see planets, stars within the Milky Way, just about planets now, but we're just getting there for that. But that far, it's and there's not even bad signal on this end. Oh well, but yeah. So with the old signals, we get signals that look exactly like alien radio signals. Exactly where we'd expect to see them, but we can't confirm them because limited because of the limitations of our technology. But what we do see these clues. Thank you for that one. Heads up there. I'm glad it's not fully cutting us off though. So I think that's an improvement of when we was getting it all crash. I think this is the improvement of that. I think it's just too hot in the room again tonight. But yeah, so what we are seeing, we are starting to see clues. It's everywhere. But now we are getting that ability as a species to check those other planets. We're just about able to see some planets around some other stars. And ever so slightly, some of those planets, if we're lucky, we can see the atmospheres and detect what gases are in those atmospheres. And what we're seeing looks like signatures of chemicals that we, as far as we know, can only be made by life, by biological life. It's not strong enough for us to confirm 100%, but there's a lot of these early indicators. So I think the reason that we haven't got it means that it's a technological limitation rather than it's out there, because this is all very big picture stuff. And even like talk about the only structures that would be, say, large enough to be seen would be things like Dyson spheres, and there are a hell of a lot of candidate stars that potentially have got strange dimming, have got strange effects going to them. There's a cluster of stars where they dim, so like if Jupiter passes in front of our star, the light will dim, if we're lucky, 1%. Like a planet the size of Jupiter blocking the light from the sun causes about a 1% dim. We're seeing stars dim from 25 to 95%. Insane. But what's funny is there's a cluster in the sky of these stars that are all dimming in these ridiculously large ways, but the cluster of stars are all the same type of star. So it's not every star next to it, it's all the ones that are close together of the same type, which coincidentally are similar to our star, the sun. So there's already these little clues. We don't have the technology to push it over the line. And one night there will be a little grey one looking into the camera, pranked by the neighbour with a good sense of humour. I would laugh if they actually did that one. I would laugh there. And was that knocked there? Yes, we have. There's degrees of strange. So there is, like a lot of the main stuff. We're looking for these objects. So let's see if we can find something moving. Like this one here. The tracker's totally given up. We need to see objects like this. Stop dead, shoot off at speed, change course or trajectory, because that tells us for sure that it is something anomalous. It's until it does that, it means that probably most likely a man-made satellite. But that happens. We've seen it a handful of times. Not that often, but it is a hunt. We've got to pay attention. We've got to follow them for that strange behaviour. behaviour. There's a middle ground because, yeah, if something does anything like that, slam dunk, not a man-made satellite up there, not anything organic. That is very, very strange behaviour. If there is the middle ground of flashing, coloration, doesn't really tell us it's so strange, but we tend to see this group of like one-offs, we call them, which is... We've been doing this a year. We've seen how the night sky looks, how all the things in the night sky look through different weather, different seasonality there, different positions of the sun, all that sort of stuff. We've seen the variations, and we ain't seen anything like this, But in of itself, it's not giving us anything anomalous to say conclusively. But there is something. That's worth our interest there. We see that a lot more commonly. We've seen that previous nights and stuff as well there. Orange and cool, exactly. That was a good one there. Buy old American cars. I want an American van for doing this. I want like a proper van with a dish on the roof there. Anything not normal? Yeah, we do see it. We do see it. And Byron, I already have 2 old American cars. What, muscle cars? Anything that's not a satellite. Yeah, it does happen. Definitely does happen. Only the other night we had some very, very strange stuff coming through there as well. Living Light, did Alan say thank you?
Nom, nom, nom. Thanks,
and
guys.
Janie there coming in with the gifts as well. Appreciate those guys. All goes back into the stream. Anything alien? Well, that's the thing, Ed. We can't say. We can definitely say, look, that is anomalous. It doesn't fit the criteria of a satellite, of a shooting star. But to say that it's alien is that we don't have the technology to confirm that one. I mean, we are left in the category of, well, what else could it be? But to say for sure, I couldn't say there. Now, is it ET waving as it goes by? Don't know. I think we have high dimensional cliff walls shelled around our solar volcano and aren't even looking outside of their crater. Well, possibly. Hard to get my head around it in the metaphorical sense. Exactly, Kate. UFOs, yes. Aliens, who knows? Brilliant way of putting that. Much more concise. Took me about half an hour to say the same thing. We are inside of heaven. The planet heaven is high dimensional, and the energy flowing through our solar volcano illuminate heaven. Yeah, I think I might need some images on it there. And I mean to say NHI as we know it to be there. Possibly human intelligence vibrating at a different frequency. Again, this frequency angle could well be the case. I can't say for sure. Along those lines. Deja vu. Why does Vega look so cool? I've never seen it in my life there, probably because I'm in Europe. So we're in Europe, we're in the UK as well. So this lens, Vega, you can see it very bright on if you've got low light pollution, because it's one of the brightest stars in the night sky. But this lens, see how the clouds are slightly yellow as well? One of the byproducts of this lens is lets in a lot of light, but it ever so slightly amplifies certain tones. So Vega isn't normally this purple. Somebody did say that it was getting the purple coloration more from the Milky Way as well, or something like that. So it kind of exaggerates it a little bit, but it looks pretty, doesn't it? Getting a few clouds in now. Better turn the tracker off. It's only going to have a sulk with those. Sorry guys, I'm very snotty tonight. Oh, anyone got a recent legit image of Free Eye? Sadly, no. I don't think we're going to get many, if at all. Now it's further away. We don't have really good optics. We've got close up, right? Really close up. But then if it's further away, it's planetary, it's galaxy size things we can capture. We can't get the small stuff that far out. I guess bigger and more purple as you go through August, September. It was massive last year, wasn't it? It's a big, bright, beautiful purple companion there. Black hole star. No. Why is it in purple though? I had no clue we had the purple stars till now. So it's a slight amplification. Although technically, I mean, they're all made of different, or they all are fusing, the big fusion reaction there. Different elements create different light profiles and colours. But our atmosphere does have a bit to play with it as well. As that light comes through, it can change certain wavelengths there. Bridlington, up your way. There's a bit in the skies of Bridlington. There was a UFO sighting up your way. Have you ever seen anything strange? We shouldn't be too far. We know we want to do Bempton, which isn't too far on the coast from you guys, isn't it? At some point for a UFO hunt there. The hunt for planetary Sasquatches. That's the next one. It might not be purple. It could be their lens making it purple, or some lenses can do that, and it can be like, see the colour of the fridge. Yeah, I think it kind of amplifies it. There, like a stone Jesus. I have a few friends like that. And I live in Athens. Oh, wow. So I see like 6 stars max there. And I never had the chance to see the night sky, the light pollution. Oh, no. Honestly, I came from just outside of London. And same. You know, like, you'd see the moon occasionally and a couple of stars. Nothing special. I'd never seen a satellite with my eyes. I'd never seen a shooting star with my own eyes. And moving here to the country, the first night, I looked up and went, oh my shit. And it's embarrassing, but I didn't know Mars, the red planet. I didn't know you could see it with your naked eye. You can see that it's red. It blew my mind. So, yeah, it is pretty interesting there. Let me scroll through. We're going to spin the camera in a second, I think. XM there. Sony rules there. It goes up to, was it 120,000 the ISO? It does, but it gets grainy. I think we're only on about 10,000 tonight. And it depends on the brightness. If the moon comes up, we have to lower it there. It's not very usable. So the story of a religion is a story of the cycle of life. Their prophecy is time, and time is prophecy. I have almost lived out much pain and loss and exile of my life. I see the pattern is hidden. So Daniel, what I would say is that, like, I really like the pattern matching to these sorts of things there. And it sounds like you've got quite a creative mind there, and you're seeing these connections through all of that sort of stuff. And other people might not be as creative. So again, there's lots of people that don't understand about the things that I talk about, and so creative people tend to see more connections between things than other people. And it's not about if the connections are there or not, just some minds aren't particularly well programmed. But yeah, sound quite creative. I might need a visual to kind of help me get my head around it like that, but I am interested. And you found the pub, FPL. Can you get Alan back from it? How do people see all of this and not believe in God? So, I mean, I'm not that way myself, but I'm getting more open to it. And in fact, I always find it amazing that there are some scientists that stay out there, you know, very atheistic. And the more they look into it all, the more they actually go, they come to religion as an explanation. I think science says, give us one miracle and we'll explain the universe. You know, the one miracle is the start of everything. So I definitely am more open to it. There. I saw something there on Urban Patrol on a mission in non-war zone 2017 there, or so, for unknown in plain sight there. Fairly good street and building light at night there, standing in the lobby looking at the glass door. And after to the rest of it there. Had to get fibre in for work there. It's rare. I get call drops in meetings now. It's good when you can get. I wish they would hurry up with it. Why should we believe in God? Well, it's an explanation of things. And what is the model there, Chris? This is a Sony A7. It's an early model, so it could definitely improve. But you need to get a good lens. And all this really comes from that is something that science cannot explain as well. We're not there yet. That's the one, Rib. You got it right there. I got a snake named Vega, and the other one's name is Altair and Denheb. Excellent. The summer triangle. Perfect. XM. I like that. We can actually point to Altair now. Normally, the other one we couldn't spin around there. And Miz, how are we there? People in the far away there, love from down under. I love that there. How are your skies? It won't be tonight. It'll be daytime for you, won't it? I haven't seen anything strange. No, the religion tonight there. We did a deep debate less than a week ago. Yeah, we love it. It's so connected, though. It's so connected. And I saw a video earlier saying that there is a black hole 25 light years away from us there with a billion suns around it there. I don't know how true it was. Oh, I mean, 25 light years away. I don't think you'd get... 25 light years is close. That's very, very close to us. So in theory, we could have one, but there wouldn't be that many planets around it at that distance. I don't think. Your reality is what you believe, but you are influenced by other beliefs and what they tell you to see. I could see that. I could definitely see that. I don't think there is necessarily an objective reality. I think we negotiate our reality with others. I think reality is localized, but it has to collapse down to a roughly unified version when we interact with other people. And physics talks about this in the sense of light cones and relativity. They're good ways to tackle this, but in a layman's terms, it's like connecting to a multiplayer server. Like, you're running that world, like on your PlayStation, if you're joining Fortnite on this player, you're running it on your machine, but you're playing with other people. So, you know, when somebody breaks a window, your version needs to update that window's broken. You know, they need to negotiate and go, well, is it broken for you, but it's not broken for me? Well, that action overdoes that one. And that's probably where you get the Mandela effects and stuff like that there. I am lagging, or is it live? Knock, it might have been us. Hopefully it's sorted itself down now. Janie, how are we doing? Back again there. I do also think our time travelers, again, very plausible. Yeah, at least it's not cutting out there. I mean, we were having a phrase where the whole computer would just freeze up and then just everything would die. So I think that's an improvement. Ultimate improvement will be fibre, because then we can go back on Twitch and maybe go on X or some other places as well at the same time and expand our vision, and we will have no connection issues. And what is this, a line on the display there, Crash? So, the line that is going down there, right. So initially it was a mistake. So because we're building this app ourselves, I'm building it in our website. So I've got all of my stuff in one place and I don't have to worry about it being on a computer or anything. So it's actually part of the website. And the website, as part of the aesthetic, has this line going down a lot of the pages. Just a little ambience. And it automatically overlaid it to this page too. So I was going to turn it off because it didn't serve a purpose. But it does actually serve a purpose now, which is it tells me when the tracking software is lagging, which it's started to do, because when that line slows down and starts to stagger, it tells us that the software is having a bad time. So it's kind of a thing there. Now, I don't freeze it or react to it. It made me a shiver. Ooh. I've lived a life of not believing God and not worshipping anyone. I think I know less than what I deserve. Take or leave it to life. This is the point. I'm living for knowledge and what I can learn. And did you see the article I posted about the meteorite that hit the roof and found to contain the... But yes, I saw the message on that one, yeah. Again, this is... We're seeing a lot of this now, that more and more objects up there, you know, meteorites and comets, they've got these raw building blocks, the organics, the components that we think are key to life. And the sheer amount that is up there, again, it's that extra tick box now for... Life is probably everywhere, because now we can see that the ingredients are everywhere. And it wasn't so long ago that we just didn't know that they're everywhere. We thought maybe these ingredients were rare. Oh, my nose. We can see so much. So this, to me, is proof that the agencies edit what they show in public. Oh, they definitely do. I think they do want to control the narrative there. And... I was 50, no more than 500 feet away. Yeah, try streets comfortable. Interesting. People around you and in your life cause you to lose your way, lose your sense of direction, your path in life. Exile, no emotions, and minimal stimulus. Well, wake your brain up from what is. Well, it's very true. You know, you are the product of your environment, your culture. But what you've got to remember as well is that you go faster alone, but you go further together. So that is how human advancement works. People aren't just geniuses in vacuums. They are the product of their culture, their society, the people that have come before them. So you can get a lot of work done in the short term, but to know that it's any good, you need to have that contextual elements in there. The brain is a pattern matching device, but you've got to have the patterns, you've got to have the raw materials first. And if you're totally cut off, it's not as good as we think it is there. The third phase of the moon. Ooh, that does ring a bell there. Strange things amongst the stars. I believe it's UFOs acting like a star. Well, Clark, quite possibly. The thing is that the stars that we're seeing, we're just getting a little bit of light through. And again, these UFOs, the craft up there, anything that's up there, all that we get is just a little bit of light. They're all going to look very, very similar. So it's their movement, it's their behaviour that can tell us apart there. We scroll here. Whole universe inside of you, quite possibly. Yeah. Star Trek. It gets better. And what lens are you using? Is it a 50mm? So, Torben, it's I think it's a 25mm. I don't know what f-stop, but it was the lowest one I could find. It's a cheap Chinese one, so as low as possible there. I've got my eye on another one there. What if we are alien? Well, Crass, I'm open to that. Very much so. I'm going to spin the camera and see if we can find somewhere that isn't as populated by clouds. You know, the idea that maybe life itself came... let's have a look this way. Maybe life itself came from somewhere, in simpler form. No, that's cloudy that way. We came in a sort of a bacterial sense, or a very simple singular cellular life form that was, landed here on Earth and then kind of we developed to us. I'm open to that. I'm definitely open to more of a complex sense as well, possibly being at play. It's very cloudy now, guys. Can we get a little bit more of the sky if we go up? No, that's the wrong way, Sam. That's the neighbour's house. Gonna get done for peeping. There's Vega. Oh, this is a clearer bit, is it? No. No, we're back down to here. Alright, this will have to do for now then, guys. Yeah, so definitely think that maybe we're in a more complex sense we come here as well there. You got to do LSD to know that one. Not just all these folks have done it. It's interesting. I think that again, it helps you conceive of things differently. I don't think it's magic. I don't think it necessarily shows you knowledge, but I think it helps you process it in different sorts of ways, make different connections there. See the red stars flickering in place. Is that the case? So, Clark, the red dots that are static, that don't move when we move, like that one there, and that one up there, they're just duff pixels on the camera, sadly. So that's why they stay, as if it else moves. We do sometimes get some stars that actually are that bright there. And Pojo, what do you think about the leaked files from Trump there? Anything that really got your attention? So we haven't had a eureka from them, but that's probably quite wise. It's not just for us who are into the UFO phenomena that have been searching it up for years. We're ready to see pictures of the Roswell bodies. It's got to be for everyone. And for a lot of people, it is just posing the idea that it's not as ridiculous. You've got to start off there and ease people into it. And I've noticed that not all of the drops, but most of them have actually had at least one, sometimes two bits where we are seeing something slightly different there. That incremental build-up. There has been, from what I've seen the first time, I've seen, lots of the forward-looking infrared. Seeing the dots moving around, but it's hard. There's no reference points. We're not getting more data. But we saw them this time with a reference point with a jet aircraft there. So you're right. Okay, we can immediately get a speed and size reference. This is interesting. And then there was the USOs. I'd never seen objects, as it were, appear to be flying around, doing all the normal things, and then again reference point of a submarine, but appearing to go into the water as well. That was very strange and very interesting, good to see. Same as you see the orbs in the infrared in the black and white, but we saw colour versions of that as well. So there was a little bit there. I think it's just slow and steady. I don't think we can take it for granted, but it's more interesting than I thought there. And what if we're the demons? Hey, here's a possibility. I saw the figure, I froze, I jumped, it never moved. What's that one? A second. I figure door flies open. Never moved. Interesting. And Clark there, I saw a shooting star 2 nights ago. It's amazing. It really is there. You don't necessarily need the aliens, do you, for it to be phenomenal. Nature puts on a good show for us there. We saw a few during the shower there. Always phenomenal there. And do satellites fly behind or in front of the clouds? Good question, Liverlight. So they are behind the clouds. So the clouds are within our atmosphere. It's the product of the pressures and the gases within our atmosphere. So they form within the atmosphere. And then on the outside, where there's no atmosphere, nothing to get in the way of those satellites fly around there freely. So it's a good little indicator. If we see something clearly in front of the clouds, it gives us a little bit of an indicator how close down it is. Or if we see it going through the clouds and interacting with them, as we've seen before, like a trowel, almost like a plane would leave, that can be a really good indicator there. And I feel about except that people have their own beliefs. Yeah, their belief doesn't harm me any. Says that a religious schooling turned me away from religion. I can get that, and I think you're right. Yeah, each to their own, as long as we're not pushing it on everybody else. We can only offer it up, can't we, to people there? And I think, my schooling wasn't a religious one, but it put me off of education, so I can very much get it there. I think the human interpretation, the human actions around certain things is separate from the things themselves. So you look how a lot of scientists behave, dicks, but it doesn't mean that all of science is bad as well. I think we need to apply the similar sort of brush there with religion or religions and the principle of religion too. Not that I'm advocating for a specific one there, but J-Dog, how are we doing there? See, patterns others don't, but I didn't get to nurture it because of people being destructive. Things they don't understand or agree with. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of people have that experience, Daniel. It's just a shame. Janie there, you got the cold. Yeah, I'm snivelly bugger today. Hopefully it'll go soon. There. We're ready to go above 30,000 ISO, but it's nice to have it if the sun burns out or something. Exactly, you know, you'd see into another dimension with that amount of bloody ISO. Legend, I am legend. You're in a bathtub with German Shepherd there. Oh, I'm a legend, not I am legend. Grandmaster, who's smoking FPA? It's Alan out there with his unicorn donut surprise vape. Alan smoking, yep. Teresa, how are we doing there? The cloud is a camouflage for the UFOs to land. Could well be. We do that, don't we? As you know, with human technology, smoke screens are quite common on tanks and armored vehicles. You know, can we hide ships? Did it in the war? You know, why wouldn't they if they didn't want to? Clouds of God's farts there. Debunk that, atheist. I went to Australia in 2006 there, travelled north, looked up one night and saw the red cloud in space, the Milky Way. And it was amazing, but I almost fell to my knees. It was sickening to see into space like that. But I think that is really interesting. You know, a red cloud as well, visually. Like, I've not even heard of that one. Blows my mind a bit. But yeah, we are so disconnected from the beauty of space. It's one thing seeing it in images, but actually seeing it being presented like that, it can affect us there. And hey, up there, we've got a new lens. Not yet. I've got my eye on one, though. I've got my eye on one. Got to get the Starlink first. But no, this is just the same lens. So the difference that you see, guys, same lens, mostly same settings as well. But this is just, you know, the atmospheric conditions, the brightness of the moon being up to or not. Gravity is a sneaky way for scientists to say the shape of space. So gravity technically isn't the shape of space. The geometry of space is a whole separate science I barely follow. But I have been looking into a bit of this. And the scientists don't know what the shape of the universe is, or the shape of space is there. You know, there's lots of arguments around that. It's an interesting subsection I can barely follow. Turn you into a vapor gem. And clouds are not green, atheist. Ghost in chat like it. Laying down, head popped up like watching TV on the couch there. Have to have a different intuitive sense about the terminology and what it actually is saying and meaning. That could be right, because a lot of the time, you know, to these conversations, we have dictionary definitions of the word, but we don't often go by that. We are often, like, you know, behind, aren't we? We're often coming and slightly different interpretations to these things there. E.T.'s having a fag, yeah, before he goes home. He's not allowed to smoke on the ship anymore. To understand what the universe is doing, but we live and exist in it there. This is like red herring. Yeah, I could say and see that, Daniel. What you do, I guess, I can't remember what that was for. There's having an ego, and there's completely taking the piss. Well, that, yes. Where are we down here? We understand the universe and life, but what would be the benefit of not telling everyone, having a secret advantage to others there? Yeah, I don't think there are such things as secret advantages. I think it feels like there is in the short term, but ultimately, you know, we are a communal species. We need to work together there. And up 25 light years. Isn't that Vega distance? Yeah, basically. We'd see a black hole surrounded by suns. You'd see all of that gravitational lens, the light bending around it. Wouldn't you? For what I saw, Rusty, I thought it was a UFO on New Year's Eve a few years ago there, but it was probably a drone. But it was still the damnedest thing. Sometimes we see these anomalous things. We don't have enough information to collapse that down to a definite for sure. But it can still sit with us there. What was it doing? Why did it come up? Because it still might be anomalous. And if a reality is this fluid, then attention is the only true resource there. Where you place your awareness, you are literally thickening the existence of form. I think there's going to be more. I mean, it's basically the observer effect, isn't it? I think that is true. I think living like, yes, moved too fast and was way too bright to be a drone. So it gets things like that it doesn't exclusively mean that it's anomalous. It doesn't give us enough to say straight. But your gut, you go, I haven't seen anything like this before. It's definitely in that outline area. And New Year's Eve has got to be an interesting time, hasn't it, for the aliens to go, what the hell are they doing? They're exploding things in their sky consistently. Possessing the secret advantage clearly isn't an enlightening experience there, and I'll take my chances not knowing. I mean, it's fair enough, isn't it? And you need to put some Vicks on the bottom of your feet. I do. I've got right bunged up doing this stream. I need to quickly scroll ahead. I'm reading a book on quantum and spirituality, which is very interesting. And again, I don't think there's much difference really between the two. I think there's a strong overlap. Hold on, I'm just going to make a horrible sniffing sound, so I'm going to mute you guys. I'm going to sneeze. Well, that didn't clear my nose at all. I'll catch you later, Rafa, there. Here's a mental exercise. Go for it. To get in for the end there. How you doing, Pancake? Time to get some sleep. I'll catch you later there, Tobin, as well. We're going to be off, like, in a minute anyway. Containing tens of billions of stars. So that's going to be galaxy size. So that is kind of what happens with just not that close. So the Milky Way, our galaxy, or Andromeda that we zoomed in on there, we do think that there are black holes at the centre of those. We think we've detected them. So in the same way that our star, our planet orbits our star, our solar system, so our star and all the planets, orbit the central black hole around the galaxy. So I think that part of it definitely fits like that. I just don't think it's as close there. No black hole is 26 light years. Yeah. But at 26,000 light years sits Sagittarius A, the supermassive black hole that's in the galaxy. Yes, exactly. It's surrounded by the nuclear star cluster, suspended superdense core, like it. The double slit experiment there. The slits are your eyes. You have what you observe, and what you think, and what you imagine. And the way if it splits and produces three possibilities: the one you see, the one you don't happened, and the one you never know happened. So yeah, it's not with the double slit though. It's not that each slit provided a different outcome. It's that the double slit proved that it was the wave or the particle, depending on the observation. So I kind of get what you're saying there. Dinos before us there. Maybe we are the asteroid. Well, this is the thing. Did what happened to everyone before that? There was life apparently, or so complex life evolved twice. They now think on Earth. So we've got our chain of complex life, which as it appears to have evolved. But we're not the first one. Apparently there was complex life that evolved here, lasted about 1 million years and got wiped out, so not long at all. So maybe there was some sort of extinction event like that sort of stuff there. It's a midnight barbecue there, FBL. And I personally refuse to believe that our planet is the only one in the universe to sustain life as we know it. Bang on there. I think that is just the logical, unless there's good evidence to the otherwise. Mainstream science is catching on now. It is the belief of astrobiologists, and therefore the people in science that know that life is abundant out there. The main reason that they didn't know this, or they wouldn't commit to it previously, was mostly because we've got some movement over there, it's not being tracked. It was mostly because we couldn't see if there were planets around all these other stars, but we've just got this moving one. We've just got the technology now where we can start to see that, and where we are seeing all these planets, we now think that life is going to be absolutely abundant there. Oh shit, that just jumped ahead. Where did we get to? Sorry guys. Scooby coming in with the gifts there for Alan. I'm going to have to skim a few of these. I'll catch you later there, Lucy. Living out the end of the story, the end of the cycle. It's like a storybook that restarts at the end. Or a video game makes new levels so you get to the end. That's plausible. And Carl there, hey guys, never been on here before there, but love meditating and looking at the sky. Oh, Carl, welcome in. You're always welcome to join us there. And yeah, the meditation side of things, not an area that I was really familiar with, but it seems to be incredibly relevant to the phenomena now. The consciousness connection there as well. Have you ever seen anything strange yourself? Welcome aboard, Carl. Where are you joining us from? It's every time I look up over the North Sea, I've seen UAPs, and yes, recently, interesting that is really cool. And who else was it saying exactly the same thing looking out over the North Sea? So firstly, that is a big open area, quite dark there, so it's going to be prime to give you that opportunity. But the USO phenomena, the idea that they're interacting in and over the water, is something that's going more prevalent. It's been going on the whole time, but it's getting more and more reported now there. Really not to text smart there, neither am I, Noel. But a friend of mine loves his stargazer, uses Sony A7S there with a 0.95, 35 millimeters. The amount you see is unbelievable. I think it's in that sort of range. I just don't think it's the 35, but yeah, it is in what you compared to the naked eye. It is crazy, isn't it, Noel? And I didn't know the first time we got this set up. Did it correctly, got the settings right. There's about 14 objects moving on the screen. I did not realise how alive the skies were there. And everyone ever have weird noises and stuff start moving in the house after meditating? Oh, interesting. No, not personally. But it does make you, are you going to be more aware? Is there an energy thing going on? What is it? There is a certain group that if you meditate, do this certain practice, it takes years apparently to do it, but you can sort of bounce and hop, and ultimately in theory you can levitate with it. Wrong way, let's go up a bit. Scooby is in here, damn, you brought the clouds in there. Right. Oh, thank you, Teresa, always good to see you, I hope you're well. From Bempton and Flamborough cliffs there, looking out into the sky, low light pollution. So Bempton is on our UFO hotspot tour location, actually. Might see you up there. And mind-blowing fact about the rain clouds there. They can weigh hundreds of tons. I suppose, yeah, all that moisture. Unplug now, so it's easier later on. And they're quite craft there. There are 2B and 2T galaxies in the observable universe. Observable, what we can see from our planet. And who knows how many more there are. So, 2 billion to 2 trillion galaxies, there. I mean, this within those billions of planets, and then billions of stars with billions and billions of planets and moons. So many opportunities for life. But yeah, the observable universe, the bit that we can see, the bit that we'll only ever see. Because obviously everyone thinks, light from them to be able to see them travels at the speed of light, but the universe expanding faster than the speed of light. There's just this bubble around us. That's as far as we'll ever see, that we'll ever know. There, in theory, if the universe keeps expanding, there will be a future where there will be planets out there that will never see another light in the sky because the universe is expanding so much between everything's got so much distance between it. Oh, I'll catch you later there, Long Lomond. Overcome the cravings. I think it's quite wise. Yeah, it does. And I heard that the Jeremy film was actually a film manipulated by researchers, and it was confirmed by a real man named Logan on Total Disclosure. The Jeremy, is that the sleeping dog one? Jeremy Corbell's what about him recently? Is it that one? And clouds are like uncontrollable around and filter. You cannot switch on. I know, right? I want to start, see if I can dabble in weather control. It changes everything in my book now. I completely understood that the fading in and out was done on purpose. Okay. So do you do any of these objects up there reflect sunlight? Satellites have metallic surfaces, of course, but what about stars and planets? So yeah, the planets do. That's how we can see, the planets in our solar system. They're reflecting that sun's light back. Is how we see the moon. So close enough we can see that, but the distance, well, we can only see the stars themselves because the stars are emitting lights. The ways we see the other the way we see the planets around those other stars, see if I can find one now. Might have to bring the camera in before it rains on it. The way we see the planets around the other stars is because those other sunlight is so bright. Oh yeah, not really seeing much there. Is actually that they drop the sunlight, so we actually notice that the star light dips rather than that we're actually seeing the light directly of those other oh no, there's a bit of a gap there, no, wrong way, that's more of the fence now. It's not much. That'll do. So yeah, so it's that way, which is crazy. And it comes out 1 hour 34 minutes into the podcast. Listen to the next 10 minutes at least. I'll try to do that, Scooby. Yeah, it seemed to be time as I saw it. There is a lot of drones over the North Sea. There, green and red lights there. There's a lot of military. Maybe. I mean, what else would the use be for it there? You'd expect. I'm supposed to keep an eye on the Russians, maybe. Waiting for the third Bigelow podcast, which should happen tomorrow. Oh, I did see part of the first one. I needed to catch up for those there. Need some menthol crystals there. They clear a road through. So I've heard this, the old either my nose or the sky. What was it? The cloud buster. was a thing to that there. Oh, hot lemon with honey. That's going to be after the stream. Speaking of which, we're going to be coming off and just trying to catch up with the chat here. I think there's more intelligent civilizations who have lived on Earth and many more. There's definitely the time for it, Al. There's definitely the time. It would only be able to observe from his plane paper around it, so if you were able to see outside. Yeah, exactly. That's the 2D. That's to talk about your dimensions there. Some planets nebula reflect this apparent sunlight, but it doesn't generate any. Oh, it's got any. So much distance, so no sun. Well, yeah. Where are we down here? Yeah, I know, and it's quite reliable as well. The connection works, so it should also be able to support our moon lens. So new bit of kit. I told you, always upgraded. Thanks to you guys there. I was for it that people would appear. Yes, that's still about 2D dimension there. Some brandy and lemon, honey too. I will give that a crack. So, have you ever tried cloud busting? Carl, that's what we're thinking. I haven't. Kate sent me some interesting ones, so I do want to try it there. I don't think, if I haven't got the honey, maybe. Cinnamon, possibly, but not the turmeric or the ginger. So much distance there, no stars, yeah. And living like there is there still a herbalist in your area there? They were usually village elders that were common in the rural areas. You know what? I don't know. It's the sort of place we expect that it could be possible, because a lot of the smaller villages have been bought up by the rich people because they're nice and cute. But this is still right on the line. It's definitely got the possibility for having it in, having it as a possibility. Gravity pulls everything down. Then why don't the clouds get pulled down if they hold thousands of tons of water? So they do, but it's their it's the displacement, because they're not dense. So all of the individual molecules are quite far apart, hence they're clouds rather than the natural droplets. But that's exactly what happens when the moisture level gets too much. Then they condense. They're too close together. They form water droplets, and that forms rain. For that. It's a jellyfish. Oh, it is the jellyfish video. All right, yeah, because that was an interesting one. Instead of drawn on the surface of the sheet, he is drawn on the edge of the stack of sheets of paper. Multiple stacks of paper conjoined in the corners makes the matter of the body. A cloud is actually made of billions of tiny water droplets and ice crystals there spread throughout a huge volume of air. Warm air rising pushes against the droplets and carries them upwards. I lived in Exeter in this is quiet craft in the early 2000s, so light pollution was quite high. One night I observed 3 points of light travelling in unison across the night sky there, and I could see the stars around it, but not within the frame. But quiet. We've seen that once, literally once, probably about this time last year. Exactly that. Oh, that was a nice shooting star, perfectly framed. Did you see that one, guys? That's pretty cool. But yeah, we saw that once, and 3 minutes behind the chat. Hey, it's working tonight. But yeah, we saw it once, blocking out the stars behind it, or it looked like it was there. I was going to spiral. They can't move up, and now the sheets of paper travel along each sheet individually. We have multiple sheets, so we can go up and down. I can't follow you. From a personal experience that I've tracked and seen the ISS via the app, and I'm positive that there's loads more. So yeah, there's loads of satellites flying around up there. But yeah, the ISS we've done, we haven't got it. It does come up normally if it's going to be in view for us there. Let's observe the forest, and we switch to a live hunt for the paranormal activity. I've been having, the synchronicities lately. The few of those have been happening for the spooky stuff, so I think it is going to happen there. Mine and matter are the same. They're definitely more connected than we thought, so I'm definitely for that. And red dwarfs are the longest living stars, and the trees of these stars would be magenta, not cyan like our greens. So yeah, so the light that they emit there, because we're green because that's the lowest value light wave, isn't it, for photosynthesis? So it reflects that light back. But yeah, other stars emitting different light. Their trees, their plants would have a different colours for those purposes. But yeah, red dwarfs are the longest living. They did think for a while that they might not be able to host life because they're quite violent with their flaring, but again, that was an early theory. Now they're seeing that there are planets with atmospheres, so the flaring doesn't matter because it obviously doesn't strip them all. High dimension fluid stick of paper, it will manifest as a single individual fractal, and the whole fractal. Well, Daniel, that does, honestly, the dimensional angle to this is a lot more plausible than people do give it credit for, mainly because Hollywood gives bad understandings of what dimensions are. There. Fireball, perfect, seeing the old shooting star there. And you had Luna today about my encounter with the saucer and the short version of the story. Oh, Luna as in rep. Interesting. That's cool. Oh, yeah, 100% Scooby. Definitely get luck with that one. You saw it, Joseph? I love it. The first time it's something to someone official. It's good to do because this is nobody thinks that, oh, I'm not going to bother reporting it because nobody will take me seriously, nobody will listen or anything like that. But then we don't report it there. Living like they play for the sound. Thank you for that one. Most triangle-shaped UFO with lights on tips, I believe, are man-made. Well, they do say, don't they? The triangle fault craft there might be the reverse-engineered TR-3B. There are reports of proper extraterrestrial UFO craft. One, it's an interesting one, apparently on the seafloor just off of the Shetland Islands, apparently recovered by the US, but most of them are the reverse engineered TR-3B there. Do not condone drug use, but ketamine has been a massive aid in meditation, able to get to higher states of consciousness, and I've had mad stuff happen. So I totally get it. You know, everything can be abused, everything can be, but doesn't mean that's its only use for this stuff. I mean, lots of people talking DMT and various psilocybin and stuff like that can be really helpful for many things, as well as exploring stuff there. And I like it with the tree in the background. It gives some perspective. Joseph, I've often thought that it lacks a little bit of perspective, but I'm always reluctant to, because it's like that I could have more sky with that. Yes, that's what they think, or they used to think that, you know, because they're more volatile, if they flare around their equator, which they didn't know, but it might be a more polar thing, then that would strip the atmospheres off of the nearby planets, because those planets have to be closer because of the habitable zone, because they're sort of smaller stars. But we now know of planets with atmospheres, you know, orbiting quite close to red dwarfs. So we know it's not necessarily, you know, 100%. Travels on the corners, manifests each strike. If we had evolved any slower, we wouldn't be, as we wait for the sun to explode, would be out of time theoretically. Yeah, oh, definitely. Again, our experience of time is relative to our experience as well. Like, you know, flies experience time much slower, hence why they can get out of the way of you there. Engineer, not reverse. Well, that's, yes, Barrett, that's what you say there. I'm still leaning to the reverse engineered, but it is possible. It is possible that, you know, this was just some clever sign. Like, I wouldn't write it off there. Definitely the. What do you know of Thomas Townsend Brown, Barrett? Because that could be a good way to try it up with me there. Was made up by Greer. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. Catch you later there, Scooby. And supernova look like eruptions going off in every direction. Saturn has a ring and does a volcanic eruption around the smoke cylinder. The Wi-Fi's hit me with a flying saucer there. What did you do to deserve it? I kind of get what you're saying there. So it is the dimensional angle then of why it spreads across there. Guys, I am going to have to wind up for here tonight, because I'm just going to be snot by the left of it. But thank you once again for joining us. You're all absolutely awesome. Why is my TikTok not coming through? I know it is there. I think it is. Yeah, there we go. All the flies. Oh, why is that not? Yeah, it's not loading up there. Don't get out of my electric swatter. They get them in time. Well, I've not had much success with those. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all your support, hanging out, sharing your knowledge, sharing your questions and that sort of stuff. We should be on tomorrow night as well with another Skywatch, hopefully, with the new spinny toy. As we put ourselves back in position. Oh no, that's looking at the clouds. Look at the trees. Thank you, guys. You're awesome. You legends. Yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow night. Bye bye.